Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 184 of Floating Through Film. This week, we are starting our horror month with, I think we started this last year where each of us picked two movies for horror month,
it was like
right?
2 years ago.
Did we start? Because I know one year we did Blake, just like pick
No,
all
that was the
movies.
first year. And then the second and third year was we all picked two. And then now this is the fourth year, which we're doing the same
This is
thing.
the fourth year we're doing horror month? I think.
It's the fourth year of the podcast, isn't it?
No, it's the third
only
year.
the third year.
Wait, hold on.
I think it's our third horror month.
I thought we've done
2021.
2022.
Did we? Okay.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would-
2022,
yeah, that would've
2023,
been-
2024, 2025.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember what our original picks. Oh yeah, because I had The Shining 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah. I had like Peeping Tom at one
Yes,
point.
yeah, you did have Peeping Tom.
But I don't remember. Was that last year or was that the year
That
before?
That was the year before.
Oh,
Because last year you had.
I do
Hunter,
Oh, Night of the
Hunter
Hunter and
something
Deep
else.
Red.
Yeah, sure. That sounds right.
Dang.
That sounds right.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
kind of
yeah.
crazy.
damn. No, actually, that's crazy. I was thinking of Peeping
Yeah.
Tom for you last year because I was like, we let you get away with that. Now we're letting you get away with the.
And now both of us are stretching.
Oh, so that's you're coming out with a hot take here. So that's your.
A hot take.
Well, okay,
So,
like, I
we're
mean,
so- that's
they're
what
like,
we
I
really
guess
do.
they're horror movies, yes, but like, we're talking about what people would expect from like a horror genre, like.
So when are we doing what people expect though?
Yes,
When do
but
we
like,
let
I'm
that,
just saying, like,
let's-
you're like getting on to me for, you
Well,
should really,
first I
you're
haven't
also
introduced-
scraping at the bottom of the barrel.
I haven't introduced you guys. Let me introduce my co-host Luke
Hello.
and Blake.
What's up?
And I'm Dany. And this week we are, as I've said, we're starting with Ugetsu. And Luke has already suggested, might be a hot take of a pick. So that was kind of going to be my first question. Is this a horror movie? Because to me, it's clearly a ghost story.
It's clearly a ghost story.
But
Parts of it.
obviously, the horror genre as a genre didn't really exist, like especially as we know it today. But even as like I said, as a genre, it didn't even exist in the 1950s when this came out.
What?
But.
And you mean in Japan or like?
Obviously horror as like German like Gothic expressionism and
Okay.
even Japanese kind of ghost story horrors for sure. But like, I think when people think of horror, like Luke said, they don't think of this type of movie. And honestly, even within the Japanese tradition. Okay, I'll let you guys first answer your questions. That I
Like, is this a horror movie you're
yes,
asking?
is this a horror movie? Does this qualify?
Sure.
Like, why did you hesitate though? Okay, why do you?
Well, it just
hesitate?
depends on your definition of a horror movie. But I guess, because I guess horror movie just means like something scary. I think we defined this like last year, and I already forgot like what I said. But basically, like something that can be defined as horrifying or scary or some sort of expression of something normal that becomes scary under the pretense of filming it, I guess, if that makes sense. So I guess like when it comes to Mizoguchi, a lot of his movie is like showing kind of the horrors of the world. And what makes it so interesting is he kind of films it very objectively and sort of, it doesn't become as much of a like, psychological, like annoying kind of like basic horror movie at least, or just basic movie in general. That kind of what sets Mizoguchi, part of the reason why it sets him apart.
Yes.
Like there's a distance from it, and so it becomes something
Yes.
like completely unique.
Yes.
That's how I would describe this movie. Because a lot of his movies are they're also not typical horror matter. Because like his movies are more about like the horrors of like, I guess like the bad parts of like society. Obviously Ugetsu's not as much. Ugetsu's more about just greed in general. But even then, there's definitely some commentary on it.
It's greed because of society though.
Yeah, but I was thinking more of like the class thing, because like, I guess they are like kind of like coming from a lower class, but like, maybe it is, but like I guess more. I feel like his other movies maybe focus on it a bit more, but this one still does a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But what about you, Blake? Is this a horror movie to you?
If you ask normal people, no, it's not a horror movie. I mean, yeah, kind of. Just because it is like I said last week, I do consider most ghost stories to be horror movies at the very horror adjacent have to be scary, but they're like dealing with the supernatural at the very least, which I consider somewhat horror. This one, I think Mizoguchi, like, I don't know how many movies I've seen from him. I think I definitely haven't seen a lot. I know I've seen Sancho the Bailiff, which Sancho the Bailiff I would consider a horror movie. I would consider that more of a horror movie, I think, than Ugetsu, personally.
Is that because of what's happening is horrific?
Yes.
Okay, so that's actually what I wanted to go. The first thing is, because Luke, you guys have both now said this, is horror movies should contain the horrific, right? But like, especially when we're comparing this to like what a typical person, if they're watching a horror movie, what they're expecting is, I don't think that's the only criteria. Actually, that might not even be criteria at all, because a lot of like documentaries are, you could say, are the most horrific things. You know, like just straight up just footage of like war or something, where you could say that's even more horrific than anything like a fictional movie could do. But obviously those aren't horror, like horror, like that was not considered a horror movie, you know. But you could say those are obviously horrific. But like in this case, I think what makes honestly both these movies, now I've thought about it, but especially with Ugetsu, is even within like a lot of Japanese movies, to me, like in both these movies, especially Ugetsu, the ghosts aren't evil. Like I don't think the ghost is evil in this one.
No.
You know, and you could, to me, that's what a horror movie is usually. Is like you said, the supernatural or something. But usually that's the opposing. That like that's the threat. You know, it's usually that supernatural element or whatever, the outside force. That's the threat in the horror movie. But in this movie, and even in Twixt, like the ghosts are almost like, they're like almost the more human parts, like telling the humans like that they're the ones that are horrific. Like the humans are the ones causing the horror in the movies, you know, and they're the ones like kind of revealing it to them, which I think kind of makes both these movies unique like that. But at the end of the day, I think they qualify as horror. Like especially Ugetsu, the more like I watch the kind of just like the way it's expressed. That's, I think it's like the kind of like almost like influence obviously it has from German expressionism with the shadows and stuff, and like
For sure.
the deep blacks, and kind of just like this eerie mood it sets. Then obviously that it has influences from the Japanese tradition as well. But but I guess let me get your overall thoughts on the movies too, outside of just that question. What do you guys think of Ugetsu? And like I guess we have this is our first Mizoguchi, so what do you think about him as a director too?
Well, I mean, I kind of already started to talk about it, but like, yeah, Mizoguchi, I love Mizoguchi. And like one of the things also,
is he your favorite of the big three?
I mean, it's between
we know Kahir critics definitely had a favorite.
It's between him and Ozu for sure. Although did they really watch Ozu like that?
I think they had some, but
because I don't think I ever really heard them talk about it. And also, I feel like Ozu he came to the West after his death, which I guess was in 1962, but I don't know, like I think the prime of their writing days was in the 50s. So yeah. I don't think they actually like wrote much about him, if I had to guess, because I don't think I've seen anything.
I haven't. There must be. I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I don't know if I've ever heard Godard talk about him, for example.
No.
But anyway, yeah, Mizoguchi. It's between him and Ozu. I still probably need to watch more Mizoguchi and probably rewatch Ozu before I make a definitive statement. So
it's like every director, if you compare directors, like, I gotta rewatch them first.
Yeah, I mean it's not fair either way, I guess. But yeah, Mizoguchi. Like another thing is adding to what I was saying before. Definitely, he has this ability to create these worlds that are really unique, where they're kind of like a mix of the, I guess you could say, like you were saying, like the kind of like we were kind of talking about like the horrifying elements, but also like realist elements too. Like they almost feel like it's like a kind of a mixture of them. It's like a fine line where you kind of can't tell. Like it's like certain parts of it are like, oh, this is like the real world, but some parts it's like it's some sort of like you step foot into some like I guess like other dimension or something. But it also like he's creating this like really complex world. But at the end of the day, like his movies are like the ideas aren't super. I guess like I don't find them like incredibly complex. Like you at least like
especially in this film.
Yeah, like
it's actually pretty simple.
Yeah, it's just like don't like greed. It's about greed, and then
at least
obviously you could read more into it.
See, actually, I'm gonna read because I read Romer's
they can be easily understood. Maybe is what I'm trying to think. Like
yes,
like a common person could watch this movie and get what it's trying to tell them. compared to say
At least
like
on
let's
a certain
say
level.
like compared to say like other directors maybe.
I don't know. I half agree with you because I think it is kind of a simple fable, like this kind of like greed, like the man learns his lesson.
Yeah.
But also, it's a very like difficult thing to understand. Like
what do you mean?
in terms of like basically kind of, I don't know. Like honestly, I talk about all the time on the podcast, like how like we should accept death. You know, basically like the way the movie starts. I love how the movie ends. Basically, where the movie starts, except for without his wife. You know,
Yeah.
like almost the exact same spot. But I know what you're saying. Like, it's not hard to understand on like a literal level.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess like there's just a lot of little things going on in the movie, like watching wise. I do think
definitely.
like I don't know. I guess that's the beauty of this movie, and that's probably why I'll get more into it. But I don't know. Did you have anything else to say? What about Mizoguchi as a whole? Is there like anything that sets this one out different than some of his other ones you've seen, or? Because I do think
this
like,
definitely
I don't think
feels
he
like
has any other ghost stories.
Yeah, this is definitely that sets this one apart for sure.
Yeah, like even for him, like that's maybe to go back to what you were saying earlier. I think even for him, it's a little more simpler.
Yeah, the focus
like, it's just a more fable.
In a lot of them, the focus is more on the woman too. Like this one, like there is a focus, but like even then, like but still, the men do take up a lot of the screen time here.
But it's see, to me, I was going to bring this up at some point, but to me, that's what the horror movie actually is.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like the focus,
is
like
the men, like how
like usually the women are like more the main character.
Yes, yeah, that's fair. But that's like this kind of like what's that like thing where they count how many words like a woman says to like that test they do, the Bechdel test.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What I fucking hate because like a main character can be a main character movie and not say anything.
Yeah,
you know, or barely be in the movie. Because it's like kind of the effect of like basically like that's the experience of watching a movie. Like she shows up for the first 20 minutes and she's literally a ghost for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
In terms of like a Hideko Takamine. But what about you, Blake? How do you feel about Ugetsu and Mizoguchi as a whole? Have you seen any?
I think I did look it up, but the only two I have are this one and Sancho the Bailiff, so I have not seen very Mizoguchi. Definitely one of my big blind spots. Which I do have a few.
You've only seen this in Sancho?
Yeah. Which I do have a few massive blind spots in just Japanese.
That's like
crazy.
That's got like you like
because I still haven't seen
for you especially bad.
Well, I still haven't seen a lot of Kobayashi either.
Okay, Mizoguchi's more crazy though. That's like insane.
No, because I still haven't seen Harakiri. So.
Yeah,
but
he's dodging the classical directors for the more new wave.
I like Yuzo Kawashima. He's a classical 1950s director. He's really good.
Well, this is he started in the 20s though. Mizoguchi. That's what I'm saying. He's like one of the OGs. He's considered one of the OGs. Yeah, except for it's funny I say that, but this is actually a remake of a 1920s movie based on the same book that this was called, the Ugetsu Monogatari, where these two tales come from. And that was made by this Japanese director, I think in America, his name was Thomas Kurihara. And the reason he's, I was listening to this podcast and they brought this up, and the reason I wanted to bring this up was because that guy, Thomas Kurihara, who went to America and studied film, I think he was an actor too, or something like that, and he made this movie in 1921. He was brought to America by this American director named Thomas Inch. And do you guys remember when I brought him up? Because apparently he had this huge, basically a stable of Japanese actors he brought to America. Apparently in the 20s, there was actually Japanese stars in America, which I've never known. I've never known that, which is kind of crazy. But I brought up this guy Thomas Inch before because he made this movie called Civilization, and Ozu said that was the reason he wanted to start making movies.
I've already lost track of the connection here.
Well, Thomas Kurihara was brought to America by Thomas Inch, the same guy, same American guy, and he directed this Ugetsu movie in 1921.
Okay, that was insane.
And so Mizoguchi's remaking that movie. Basically, it's based on the same book, Japanese Tales.
Okay.
And the reason I was saying that because I was like Mizoguchi's an OG, but technically he's not. He's actually a generation after all these early Japanese directors we never even hear about anyway. But
and also wait, actually, never mind.
Yeah, that was kind of long tangent.
Yeah, because I was gonna say because you brought Kobayashi, but Quieten actually has the same folktale as the one with the ghost.
Yes.
In Quieten there's a story that's the same folktale.
Yeah, I think it's from the same source.
Yeah, I'm assuming so because it's it would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I do love Ugetsu. I had seen it before this as well. This was a rewatch, so I do kind of like how, like, I've been watching obviously Katana still recently, and I've seen a lot of satirical samurai movies, and it's just kind of fun watching Ugetsu again after watching those, like especially after watching Katana's Kubi, because I feel like Katana might have had something like Ugetsu on the mind, just with how he's like satiring the samurai. Because this movie is honestly like a lot of depressing movies, they're like one step away from comedy. Just because like it's just on how you look at it. Like if you're in a bad, like if you're looking at like the horrors of the world, obviously like this is a terrible movie. Like what we're seeing on screen, what we're watching on screen is terrible. But at the same time, they're doing this to like change their lives, like because that they have to at this time as peasants. This is the only thing they can really do. So whenever you look at it kind of in that way, you're just seeing like all these ridiculous things they're kind of having to do, and it is kind of funny. Like I know that you said that you think there's a certain part in this that's the funniest thing.
It fits exactly the description you're talking about, where if, like you have this kind of detachment, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know, if you're not directly kind of involved like psychologically with the main villain character or whatever. You know?
With the main villain.
not villain. Actually,
I mean they are kind of villains. So.
Yes, that's maybe another difference with the normal horror is like you're on the side of the hero and the villain is the horror. Which I said earlier, the men to me are the horrors characters, but they're the heroes that we're following.
Yeah.
You know, and the ghost is actually the kind of, you could say, both are the women in the movie almost, you know, that are getting left behind and just forgotten.
Yeah, but it's just really like all these things that these people have to do to try to live / change their circumstances in lives or change their fate, you would say. It is kind of funny at the same. It's as funny as it is horrifying sometimes, but. Because, like, we'll get to a moment, but whenever this guy, like, kills the general and brings the head or whatever, that specifically made me think of Kubi and Katana doing the exact same thing, but way funnier in that, just, like actually just satiring the hell out of that.
Like, basically stumbling
out of a farmer, like, stumbling upon this guy that's already dead and just cut off his head. Like,
and, like, taking credit for it.
Yeah.
No, that, like, yeah, that's, like, really fun, part of the movie.
But at the same time,
there's a lot of funny kind of stuff in this. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is a very effective like ghost story for sure. At the same time, because I had actually forgotten.
That's the important part. Like,
it is.
If you say that to me, that's enough to qualify it as a horror movie.
Yeah,
you know, because to me, like, yeah, like if the horror genre as a genre only existed later, and we're going retroactively and saying these movies are horror movies now, that's one of the descriptions to me. It's like it's an effective ghost story. Like,
yeah,
because like obviously. For thousands of years, people have been interested in kind of horror stories, but they never called it that. They called it ghost stories, or you know, like basically just more normal like stuff that would happen in their epics, but just like have like crazy shit and happen all of a sudden, you know, in random plot spots. But that would be horrific. But yeah.
I mean, it's kind of just like what I said last week. I think still kind of applies. Like this, like these ghost stories. A lot of these ghost stories are the horrors of kind of like love, honestly. Because Ugetsu, like, that's, like, I had forgotten this time that the wife was dead at the end. And so that's what really brought around the horror element again. Because I was like, he literally just lost this ghostly apparition that he was in love with for a while at that manor, or at that, like, a house or whatever. And then he comes back home, thinks it's alive, and then she's dead again. So he's literally just doing the same thing over again. But it's kind of also just about living on, too. So I do kind of like that.
Yeah.
The ending is very beautiful. I completely forgot the ending, so watching it again was awesome. But
I mean, you said a really important word there, which I think like actually describes the movie, honestly, even more than horror, which is maybe why I picked it even more than the horror movie. You said the word beautiful, which to me, really like what the word beauty means, almost in like kind of a like supernatural metaphysical context. You know, where like what beauty has like both of these aspects to it. It has horror, it has comedy, it has death, it has life, it almost has everything in it, and it's just like all in one movie, you know. And at the end of the day, you basically have all these. Basically, we're trying to describe all, but like there's contradictory things in the movie. You know, that's kind of what we're saying. There's really horrific parts. There's like funny parts. There's like, it has everything. And I guess like so the reason I actually watched this movie, because I actually watched this movie having nothing to do with horror month or anything. I just like, I think I've told you guys about this philosopher I like a lot called David Bentley Hart. I was re-listening to this old interview he did where he basically talked about his love for Japanese aesthetics. And like an hour in the podcast, the guy asked. It's kind of funny because the other co-host, I think he was like in his 20s, and you could tell he doesn't watch like old movies and stuff because he was like asking him about like, have you seen any like Netflix? Like there's this Netflix anime show where they quote this like Japanese thing, and he was asking about it, and he's like, I only watch I stick to like the classics of Japanese cinema, and he was like, I love the big three, Mizoguchi, Ozu, and Kurosawa.
What the fuck?
But he's like, Mitsuguchi is my favorite.
We need to get him on the pod.
No, because the whole first, honestly, I mean, if I could, but
send him an email, bro.
maybe
Shoot your shot.
because like the first hour they were just talking about just like Japanese terms and like why he loves Japanese aesthetics so much, and then he mentioned Ugetsu specifically and I have the quote. He said, if you want to see, to me, the perfect cinematic expression of the Japanese aesthetic tradition, the film would be Ugetsu. And so I was like, damn, I'm going to have to rewatch this, because I hadn't thought about it in a while. And so then I rewatched it, and then I would realize, I want to say after, as I was watching, I realized it was like a ghost story. I was like, oh shit, that could actually be for my
You forgot it was like a ghost story?
Yeah, like that's not why I watched it, honestly.
I guess like one of the ones.
Which is kind of an argument against the whole horror thing, but yeah, so that's honestly why it got me to watch it. But I guess that aesthetic, what he said, like the perfect expression of the Japanese aesthetic tradition, to me, like there's a lot of words, but I think that word beauty is kind of a good word for it, because let me read, because I read Romer's review, which is kind of short. Rivet also has like at least what I could find, he has a short article on Mizoguchi that I read. But honestly, the best one I read was Luc Molet's. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Luc Molet.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Molet.
I think it's Molet, probably. Molet.
Molet.
I know not a single thing of French, so that's...
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I haven't seen his
probably
movies.
butchering that.
I haven't seen his movies yet.
Wait, let me look at...
But his review is the best. And honestly, I was reading the review, and at the top, I guess he had like, in hindsight, he had like wrote something about the review that he wrote in like 1959, and he was like, the reason why this review, I was starting to get popular around this time in Cahiers, and the reason was simple. All the early critics that made the magazine popular started making their own movies and left a huge vacuum for me, which I thought was kind of funny. But it's like right in 1959 was all like the old critics like stopped writing, you know. But
Moulet.
It's Moulet.
Apparently, according to howtopronounce.com.
So let me read. First, let me read a little short quote what Romer said, because he kind of. I think one of you guys mentioned like kind of like it has like both elements of like fantasy and realism in it.
Yeah.
That's basically kind of like Romer says something similar. He says, from the outset, it adopts the tone of a masterpiece. Mizoguchi's masterpiece, a masterpiece of Japanese cinema, one of the most beautiful films in the history of cinema. It is a sum where the opposing trends of art, its most diverse sources of inspiration, converge and add up. It is a fairy tale, treated with such meticulous realism that it can be said that the Middle Ages had never been properly evoked on screen before. So basically, yeah, it's a fairy tale, but also like with super meticulous realism. And honestly, like, I wish I had watched at least a few Mizoguchis while we were doing the Red series, because like, it's kind of crazy how much, honestly, even maybe more than Rossellini.
Okay, yeah.
Especially just the way he kind of moves his camera within a shot, like within a take.
Like, especially like I think of like something like Noroi or something, or maybe like The Nun as well.
I mean, to me, the movie is Story of Julian.
Oh yeah, obviously.
What the fuck is that title?
The Story of Marie and Julien, or Histoire de Marie.
Yes, that's what I get.
Julien.
But let me read Mizoguchi's quote, because he fucking loves Rivet's quote. He says, but these films, which tell us in an alien tongue stories that are completely foreign to our customs and way of life, do talk to us in a familiar language. What language? The only one to which a filmmaker should lay claim when all is said and done. The language of zen. And, obviously Rivet is like, basically what I was saying, the language of mise-en-scène, like, all you can do in one cut. Like, basically, Mizoguchi became really famous because of these, like, one take, long cut, like, long take scenes.
Yeah.
But
didn't he have like a rule about it or something?
I don't know.
Like
he might have.
Like
because he does cut sometimes within the scenes, but like even then his cuts are not like normal cuts.
Like is it like one cut max per
one cut, one
scene? Something like that.
He cuts within the scene.
But like saying like maybe one only like he can only cut once or something. Mizoguchi rule about cutting. Yeah, or one scene should equal one cut, although sometimes he made exceptions, apparently.
But for the and I've kind of talked about this before. Like Bresson would do this sometimes, even like if you think of Sai as almost the extreme of like a one long take.
Yeah.
He like basically doesn't move his camera though. Really,
yeah.
Right. Versus if you think about a Mizoguchi long take,
bro, it's like
he's moving it all the time.
Insane.
You know, so like I've talked about.
And he's like doing like crazy. It's like
yes,
all sorts of different angles too, like from
gosh.
above, from below,
Yes.
each side, like side
and
to
basically
side.
To get different cuts within a single take. To where normally you might use a cut to go to a close up and then a wide shot. Mizoguchi's doing it all in a single take, so that's where you kind of get this like really really feeling of like realism, you know.
Yeah.
It's, and then as Rivette says, you almost let the language of mise-en-scène speak. So that's why like Mizoguchi was so meticulous in like the crafting of his sets and his set design. Even the small village, you know, it feels so kind of like lived in. You know, everything feels so crowded and like when everyone's moving, like I don't know, it just feels. Even though it feels small, it feels like very.
It's like dense.
Detailed, yeah, dense. I think that's a great word for it. But yeah, so let me read, and then also, okay, so I said Luc Malloy is my favorite, because he has this great quote that I'm going to read. Because this is what I was saying earlier, where you were like, it's easy to understand in a way, because it kind of is, but at the same time, let me read his quote, where he says, quote, if it's to speak about Ugetsu, it's because it's a film, not a book. A film that could never have been a book. The meaning of Ugetsu is resolutely cinematic, hence monist, as opposed to the fallacious atomism of literary creation. What is the film actually about? The unity of all things, their continuity, their confusion. The point of view of Ugetsu is located on the level of imagination, in the literal sense of the word, and that's why idea and perception in it are close related. The present and the past, life and death, real beings and ghosts, failure and success. What difference does it make at the end of the day? None. Although we know that only the present has a physical reality, that ghosts don't exist. The fact remains that we imagine them, and that it's true that we imagine all that we imagine, and that only what we imagine is true and sovereign, by the very fact that we imagine them. Unless, with scientific progress, we discover another form of knowledge. And it's this monism, in which intelligence can see only contradictions, that constitutes the entire being of the film, since we are less able in this film than any other to distinguish form or content. And especially, like, honestly, that whole thing is so good, but that last line especially, I think, kind of sums up the whole, where he says, in which intelligence only sees contradictions. Where, like I was saying earlier, like, we see so many, like, different kind of, like Blake also mentioned, there's comedy, there's horror, there's, just detachment, there's beauty, there's, like, the camera, like, basically going insane at part. Like, it has all this elements to it. In a way that he says the intelligent contradictions, but that's the beauty of a film. A film can basically show contradictions, only the way a film can, and still make sense, still unify it. Yeah. The way that, like, when you're saying words and your intelligence is trying to make sense of it, it can't. It can only say it's contradictions, right? But in a film, it kind of, the way it uses basically all these elements I'm saying, it can make it, like he says, unifying in a way. And that's I didn't even know Bresson liked Mizoguchi, or I had forgotten that anyway, so I'm glad you mentioned that. But before we start, because that's a very Bressonian thing, this idea of, like, a film could bring together things, like one of my favorite Bresson quotes is, bring together things that aren't predisposed to do so. And that's, you could say Mizoguchi's doing that kind of in his film, and why, like, all the earlier here critics loved him is because they saw basically this really unique blending of Eastern influences and Western influences, which is kind of like basically what Rivette's saying is the language of mise-en-scène that kind of transcends just Eastern, Western, whatever. It's the way the camera kind of films, even if it's an extremely Eastern story. The language of mise-en-scène kind of can make it understandable to anyone that watches it, even if you don't know the history of these stories, as we clearly don't. But yeah. let me read one more quote from him, and then we'll go ahead and start into the movie. Is a quote: "Mizoguchi never proposes anything. His art is to show us the beauty of a world of extreme simplicity, but this beauty must be renounced in order for it to be grasped, without which we wouldn't even see it. Just as how God would only be a myth if evil didn't exist, everyday life would lose all meaning without Wakasa. This is how the curve becomes a straight line. Beauty always has a moral significance, either in its consequences or in itself." Yeah. I guess a few things I should mention, like, just some notes I had. Like, you know the paint she has, or I guess some kind of thing.
The eyebrow stuff.
The eyebrow.
Yeah.
Apparently that was
yeah.
like a aristocratic.
Yeah.
That would make, I see that
Like,
like a lot.
like-
They paint their teeth black
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that was like a. You might think that's a horror element, and it's more just like that's what.
Nah, they were just like
aristocratic
that.
woman-
They were just freaky like that.
Well,
you
that
know?
would like actually be to him like, oh, this is like a rich woman, you know, not like, oh,
Royalty,
this is not a
basically.
horrific thing that's happening, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, it's to us, yeah, exactly, yeah. So I kind of want to mention that.
No, I think we watched that in Tale of the Princess Kaguya because they do the same thing to her.
That's
in
oh yeah,
that
they're
movie.
trying to get her to paint her. Yes, exactly. That's a good point.
That's so horrifying though. Like black teeth. Like
I still don't understand it fully.
Like-
I
Well, it's because they don't
I've
want
read
them to smile.
before. Yeah, okay.
They don't want them to show their teeth. That's why they paint them black. So it's literally like a way to keep your mouth closed. That's what it's implied in the movie. I mean, Kaguya anyway.
Yeah.
Because they don't want her to talk.
Just be stone faced.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, also Mizoguchi wanted this movie, and this is also the camera movements that are so important to the movie. He wanted this movie to feel like a scroll painting, the way it kind of unrolls, you know, and like it's kind of just continuous, but it unrolls almost scene by scene, like episodically at the same time, kind of. And so like there's like certain shots in this, like the transition from when he's getting like seduced from when he's at the house to when he goes to like the water, like when they're like taking a bath, and then they're like near that tree and like the land. If you like watch the way the camera kind of just flows, like literally from right to left, like from scene to scene, it's kind of insane, and like almost like diagonally too. I just like, yeah, there's just like so many little moments like that. But obviously we're about to get into it. Yeah, let me pull out my notes. But yeah, so it starts with telling us it's based on.
This guy.
Damn.
He's bad.
I turned it up to do the pronunciation, and then I realized, yeah, never mind. Keep on going, please.
And so it starts with. I'm trying to pull out my notes.
Starts with the ending. No, I'm just kidding.
Like we always do. No, it starts with telling us it's based on a refashioning of Akanari Ueda's. I definitely said that wrong. Tales of Moonlight and Rain. And actually, I guess I do know some other stuff about the making of the movie. Apparently, so Mizoguchi, like this is based on I think 4 short stories from this, or I guess a combined 4 short stories that they like also then refashioned. When he also had 2 different script writers working on 2 different versions of the script, and then he would like try to make them interchange it, and then like go like give one to the other and the other to the other one after they finished. And then one of the script writers got so mad, he left. So then that we're left with I forgot his name, the script writer for this one. Yeah, actually both of them are listed, but I think it's Yoda's the one that Kawagachi's the one that left. But yeah, the movie starts with basically, like I said, I think Blake said it starts where it ends.
Yeah. Well, you said it before.
I said it before
yeah.
too. With this amazing, because I pointed this shot out multiple times. At first I called it a Rossellini pan, and then I was like, Rivette does it all the time. You know, where he kind of like basically pans across the whole like landscape. You know,
Yeah.
almost to be like anti kind of like. To be like pro movement instead of cut across the landscape,
Yeah.
you know. And so he like shows across the whole landscape. It tells us it's early spring 16th century. I forget what town it is, but it's pretty quick. Like this movie happens so fast. Like there's so much that happens, but it happens so fast too at the same time. That's what I love about it. It's like very. Actually, Luc Millet makes this point that you could say this is Mizoguchi's most Western movie too. And there's production reasons for that, because at the time they were trying, like, this is made in 1953, I think, and that's when Mizoguchi's movies first started getting exported to the West.
Yeah.
And the producer, they had just gotten critic, I think it's Sancho the Bailiff, but I can't remember which Mizoguchi movie they had just shown. And the reviews were like, it basically was too long and too slow. And so he wanted basically a faster Mizoguchi movie, which is like this movie, because it's like 93 minutes. You can say a lot of Mizoguchi movies are kind of, this one feels faster even compared to some of the other ones.
Well, okay, his earlier stuff, like,
okay, that's fair. Like,
are like this like shorter than this. Like his like 30s work is more like a lot of times 70, 80 minutes. And then as he got older, he kind of went longer. At least in this era.
I'm saying in this era.
Yeah, in this era, definitely you are right.
Probably his faster one.
Although Story of the Last Price Handler was a bit of a... It's 1939, but it's like 144 minutes. It's like one of his longer ones.
Like, when I went through Mizoguchi, it was like literally 2021, I think. So it's been a while. I definitely go back. But,
like, there's like a certain, like... there's a certain name for the period, I think, with having to do with his, like, studio, whatever studio he was working under.
Well, he worked under a few different ones.
No, but like I'm talking about the ones the earlier ones that I'm talking about were made under a certain studio. Okay. But I don't know I forgot the name of it. So.
But either way, this also has maybe, if it's all said and done, like I need to watch her movies that she directed. But she might be my favorite Japanese actress, honestly. Kinuyo Tanaka.
That's a bold. Wait, okay.
Because first of all,
wait, your favorite? You're saying she's your favorite?
Because it's not a high bar for me. I'm not gonna say I'm like a huge like Japanese actress expert over here.
Oh,
but,
whoa! You only like the guys?
You're any of us? Or any?
You're only interested in the guys? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not a guy expert either.
Okay. You know, so you're saying more than Setsuko Hara?
But see, that's what I was gonna say. First, like I think I know her Kinuyo Tanaka from more movies than just the Ozu movies.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Like
and
from
then
who? From who though? From who?
She's also in Redbeard. She's in
I do not remember.
She's in Ornamental Hairpin.
She's in a lot of Kinoshita movies.
She meets a movie.
She's in a lot of Kinoshita.
Yes, a lot of Kinoshita movies.
I've seen her. I did not realize I'd seen her in this much stuff until now.
She's in.
Yeah, I only remember her like.
And then like this is the main reason though. Even for Ozu, as much as I love Setsuko Hara, I was thinking about this question today. She might be my definitive Ozu character, which is her character in Equinox Flower. Which is like to me like basically
the definitive Ozu character.
Yeah, in terms of like what I see like kind of an Ozu, like the Ozu ideal almost of in a character is her character in a Equinox Flower. I don't know if you remember her like the wife in the movie.
Oh, Kinuyo Tanaka. Oh yeah, she's in Dragnet Girl.
Yeah. Her career is like literally insane.
Bruh.
She's in The Moon as Risen. Weren't we talking about that last week?
That she directed that movie.
And directed it.
Yeah. Also, side note, which kind of sucks about Mizoguchi, he didn't want her to direct movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna bring
he tried
that
to
up.
stop her directing movies.
Yeah. Carrying on.
But it's important to bring up because that is something I like. Obviously, I bring this up after we got into the movie. One of Mizoguchi's main themes throughout all his movies, basically, is the theme of women and basically society's basically how society treats women and then how women kind of react and fight back to that. You know.
Yeah.
And like I don't if we have to meet Mizoguchi sometime on the series. Like he's literally at that level. Someone's got to pick him. Maybe it'll be Luke's pick.
For you it'd be like, oh, it's Luke's DEI pick, you know.
Oh shit! I didn't want to say it. You said it.
Well, it's okay, but you were thinking it just now.
You were thinking it too.
I see past.
I wanted to say it, but I was like, I've been bringing it up too many weeks.
I see past your like little smile over there.
Well, I've been bringing it up too many weeks, so I didn't want to make you. I didn't want to race.
Wow, you're so nice. Wow.
But obviously, it's on your mind too. So.
No, it's not. There's nothing immoral about my picks.
He's haunted.
I didn't say it was immoral. I just said subconsciously.
Yeah, you are.
Subconsciously, we just know what you're picking.
No, you're painting it as immoral.
Did I? What?
You're subconsciously or.
I'm just saying
the subtext of what you're saying is that
your
it's
biases
immoral.
lie in a certain area.
Anyway.
No, I'm kidding. Because obviously you have watched Ugetsu more recently than I have. But damn, what was I just saying? I was talking like we were on talking. Basically, the movie starts with her, and introduces her and the main husband Genjuro. He's gonna be our like main kind of guy that we're following throughout. And then we also meet. I forget the samurai's name. To me, in my notes, I just put samurai.
Yeah, I don't really think of them as names. like as their names at all?
He has one. I don't remember what it is though.
I think it's Miyagi.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Oh, it's Tobei.
Tobei.
Yes. It's Tobei and Genjuro is the main guy. So yeah, we're getting introduced. Genjuro and Tobei, they're about to go travel to sell their pottery. At least we learned that Genjuro is a potter. So basically, he's an artisan, which is kind of important. But yeah, they're gonna go sell their pots. We get this quick scene of like this old elder, which he's like giving almost a theme of the movie, where he says, "Quick profits made in chaotic times never last. Little money's inflames men's greed." And like that's what I think you kind of said this, where like this is a very simple movie. You know, it's not hiding its themes.
Yeah.
Like this character's saying at the beginning, he's gonna come back and say it at the end. Like there's like a voiceover at the end, but at the same time, it like when I watch it, it just feels like very complex.
Well, no,
you know?
that's exactly what I was. That's really exactly what I was saying. Like it's
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the themes are simple, but the feelings are very complex.
No,
I guess
yes, exactly.
That's the way I would put
The
it.
themes are simple, but are they wrong for what they're doing? Is the big question to me. Honestly.
Oh, right here?
Yeah. Oh, I don't like.
In this part?
I don't know if you're supposed to judge these men for what they're.
Well, I don't. Well, I think that's part of
necessarily doing
Mizoguchi's
so.
kind of like
Well,
approach
especially,
to
I
it.
think-
Like they
Yeah.
might feel like the villains because they're causing
Well,
this upon
he
their
leaves it up
wives
to your.
and stuff,
He's
but-
intentionally taking an objective approach to it to kind of make you think that he's not really. Taking
I'm just
a stance.
saying.
I don't see him taking a stance on.
This
it,
was
at
part
least.
of what I was kind of saying with the comedic element. Is like he's taking a look at society as a whole and kind of what causes men to act like this, or what causes them to like want to do something like this. Because as we see with these two men and kind of their village life, there's no other way for them to like move up in the ranks unless they do something
No, yeah,
crazy
exactly.
like this. So
Like, I think I agree. Like, this is where I think he's kind of a, you could say humanist too, because like they're definitely not like evil. Like they're trying to, like, definitely do their harm a wife on purpose. You know.
no, yeah.
But they're like basic. Like, I know Mizoguchi had become a Buddhist, like not around this time, but I think a little bit before. And that's where this is a very Buddhist movie too.
Oh, it definitely
where it's like
is.
he's not trying to do the wrong thing, but he is very kind of deluded into like his own illusions of like what his desires are. You know, like the guy.
He wants worldly things still.
Yes, like he still has those desires.
Yeah.
And basically, like in the kind of Buddhist sense, those can drive you insane. Like those can be illusions or ghosts in your head. You know. And so, like, yeah, I don't think he's evil. Like they're trying to. But it is kind of a societal critique where, like,
definitely.
when men try to pursue their own powers, this is who they actually hurt the most. You know, it's not even. Yes, they're hurting themselves, but they're actually hurting their wives in a way a lot more. And I think that's a very key part of this movie, where we actually see the wife's consequences too, not just like what the men also fail. You know. But yeah, so like the husband comes back. So like yeah, so they go back this first time, and I don't think it's definitely not seen bad as this first time. He's like, I'm gonna make some money. Then he comes back with money. But then it's like, the wife is like, why do you need to go back again? You know, that's when you can see like the kind of greed taking in, where he's like, she's like, we already have enough for now, like, why do you need to go back? And you can already see, like, we can make so much more, you know, he's like trying to take advantage of the war, you know. He even says at one point, he says something about wartime is like easier to make profits or something, because like for some reason there's so many pots breaking during the war. It is kind of weird, like how much the demand just goes up for pottery during the war, but maybe that was a thing.
Well, I mean, as we see, what happens in their village is happening everywhere. This is a very, very, very bad time in Japan. That's one reason why I said you can't judge these men too harshly for what they're doing.
No, that
honestly.
is true.
Because as we see in this movie, they are at the whims of whatever the samurai lords are feeling that day. like they're like the women are literally just raped continuously.
Yeah.
Like
But see, I think
it's freaking
like
insane.
that's
so.
true, but then that's the same reason they shouldn't have left their wife. You
Well,
know?
I mean, yes.
Like,
yes.
and especially for these greedy reasons they have that we see. It's less so with the Genjuro, the main guy, but definitely with the Toby, where he's like openly being like, I want to be a samurai, like, you know, for you, like, you know, where men are like, oh yeah, you know, I'm doing it for my family, but like completely ignore the family. Like, it's obviously for personal gain, where you do a lot of stuff. We get these great shots of like after he's come back, before he goes back the second time, where they're like working on the pottery, and these are going to be kind of like these, almost like Johnny Toe-esque repetitions, you know, that would come back at the end. That what these like kind of, where they're gonna have these new meanings, you know, where she's like working on the. She's spinning the potter
Spinning the wheel for him.
while he shapes it.
Which this is just another thing. Like, this is the shit that's worth so much money nowadays. Just like literal like peasant art basically is worth so much money nowadays.
Yes.
But it's so hard to tell like what's real and what's not because it's literally just like you could produce this technically right now if you wanted to.
But like it's like what makes it valuable is kind of the ancient aspect to it.
Yeah, the ancient aspect and that like it was literally crafted by peasants and 400, 500 years ago or whatever. Something.
But yeah,
looks fun too.
It does, but it looks really tiring, especially for her, because like
for her,
yes. She this is also kind of like you could say like just a side critique is like he's like the he's the one who's actually getting the artisan, but she's still having to do equally as much work, but she's just the one just getting the wheel, you know. She's still kind of in the background in a way, but she even tells him at one point like he's become like a different man. He's like getting he's getting more irritable now. Like clearly like the money's having an influence on him and stuff. But then as we have this scene of like the two women. It's kind of like this is where I say like Mizoguchi's films are always about this woman in the background too, because like without shading it purposely, it shows like a cut of the two men sleeping, and now the women are the one finishing the job for them. As they're talking about basically how dumb the men are, they don't listen. They just like want to keep making more and more to sell more. But I think it's so funny because like the other ones also still finishing the job while they don't agree with it. You know, it's just like they have to do stuff that they don't want to. But that's when the army arrives, and this is kind of where like the movie kind of really takes off, where we actually see them escape. We kind of see like that's what I'm saying. This movie feels so small, like in terms of like it feels like a local village getting raided. You know, it doesn't feel like this epic event. You know, but it doesn't feel like a Kurosawa village getting raided. You know what I mean? Like where it feel like so epic.
You mean like Seven Samurai?
Yeah, something like that. You know, yeah, honestly, yeah. But it feels more like. It feels small, but it feels very like almost horrific in that way. Like when it cuts to like them hiding like behind those bushes, and it's like really dark, and then the man just easily find them, you know, and like get them out. It's just like I don't know. It feels like horrific in more like just a normal way. Like we've kind of talked about this kind of detached camera way, you know.
Well,
just watching it happen.
You're watching it, and you're like, how many times have they done this already?
Yes, it's so casual for them, you know. And we're honestly going to see probably the most horrific scene in the movie later on, like a similar where they take Toby's wife.
Yeah.
You know? But they basically get away.
I mean, we already have hints of that in this scene too, with all the women that they
they're already doing
that are
getting
women. Captured.
Yes.
So
100%, yeah. And like this is it's always like this is where this is my fourth time watching it.
I didn't realize you'd seen it that much.
Because I'd watched it 2 times like in 2020 and 2021. So like and then I'm rewatching it 2 times in the last like month. Has been nice. It's kind of got me really excited about Mizoguchi again because it just like I'd watched Ugetsu and then it honestly might have ruined Spider-Man 2 for me because I'm not lying because it's like it's just like once you watch
Spider-Man 2 is not it's fine.
It's but like like I said like the kind of language of mise-en-scène if that's what a filmmaker does and Mizoguchi in one take is giving you just so much stuff in one take like
wait you hated Spider-Man 2 or something?
I didn't hate it but like. It's just that when you watch Spider-Man 2, it's like everything is a cut. Everything's a close-up cut, close-up, close-up, cut, close-up. And then like you'll get like
falling on my head though.
The what?
I said the mise-en-scène of raindrops keep falling on my head though. Come on, man.
Now I will say the train scene's good. The train scene is still great.
Well, yes, the train scene
is still great, and that's mostly like you get to see stuff happening. But a lot of the movie is so much close-up, cut. Every once in a while, this is great wide shot.
I watched
Spider-Man, then all of a sudden
when I watched Spider-Man 2 like forever ago, like I didn't really like it.
It's a lot more talking and just like close-ups than I'm really like that's what I'm saying. Like back to back, watching.
Well, I mean, it could, but I mean, it's just, I think it depends on like who's doing it too.
It does, yeah. Like
if Godard does it, like it's amazing.
Well, we just talked about Johnny.
Godard would never make a narrative movie in the first place. Where like that's where montage makes more sense. Where you like,
yeah, I guess.
Well,
I mean, he's made some kind of narrative. There's narrative in them.
Which one?
The fucking
Literally Breathless. Like you can't even say Breathless.
But like, so there's like kind of like it's not
maybe,
like it's not like completely.
Band Apartment.
It's kind of completely not narrative, like purely food.
It's just I could say it in a way, but
even that's like cutting.
It's not
so
even
much.
like this one, and that one definitely is like.
It just depends who's doing it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But yeah, just to like bring it back more to Mizoguchi. It's just so refreshing to watch his movies. You know, just to, like this kind of belief in mise en scène. You know, believing just letting the camera just kind of record and like showing your style. Like he still has so much style, obviously, but it's like simple. You know,
dude, how he uses like shadows and like doorways and like. I'm just like how like.
No, some of my favorite shots are when we first started to see Lady Wakasa in her house. Yeah. Like the way he apparently he tried to film it like a no theater, like everything that happens in the house with the kind of camera being backed away and the way they're moving, you know.
Yeah.
But before we get there, we get some quick scenes of after the soldiers that raid the village, they leave, and the two men, of course, all they're worried about is if their pottery was destroyed or not.
This is kind of fun stuff, honestly.
It is, like you said, it's kind of funny if you're like watching it and you're thinking about it from like a detached. You're not invested emotionally in the characters because, like, of course, is the first thing they do. Like the samurai goes and steals the gloves of one of the soldiers because like. He's just like, that's all I can.
Bro, that shit's hilarious.
It's funny because I didn't realize first thing. I thought he was trying to do something related to the pottery.
Yeah.
And then I realized he stole the gloves. Like, oh, this fucking guy. Like he's not. It's like doesn't even care. Like that. Of course, like his village is getting ready. That's all he's thinking about.
It's like I need my own armor and spear.
But yeah, like they're all worried, and then Genjiro sees like the fire's gone out. He gets really worried, but then finally they open the door, and like the pottery's like perfect. You know, it's like their best like. It's almost that's kind of a joke in itself. Like when they're not even paying attention to the pottery, it's like their best work and stuff. Almost like their best work is by accident in a way. Another Brissonian thing. But yeah, so then they decide to basically take the pottery and go to a nearby town to go sell it.
It's Naga something, Nagamasa maybe.
I didn't write it down.
I can't remember. Yeah.
But either way, this is like where we get.
It's one of the bigger cities, obviously.
Yeah, like obviously if they're gonna go sell their stuff. Yeah,
because they have to take a boat and everything.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna get a boat." It's like, "Oh, you know, there's always abandoned boats over there." And they're right.
Oh, they're right.
No, he has a thing with like boats in the fog because I'm pretty sure Sancho the Bailiff has like a very.
A podcast I listened to thought he's pretty sure they filmed this on the exact same set. Like it's the exact
no,
same
it literally
way.
It looks the exact same,
which wouldn't surprise me at all. But I just love the shot though, like the shot of the smoke we see first, and the boat slowly coming out, and then just this is another thing where like if you need another example of Mizoguchi's films being about women, there's just this small little plot point where Toby's wife, of course, comes from a boating family, so they make her row the boat, so like she's the one rowing while they're all sitting down, and there's just like all these little.
And they're like drinking too as well.
They're drinking, and like I don't know if you remember, like she's kind of like giving this Buddhist chant about like how everything is impermanent and stuff, and they're literally having a conversation like about the exact opposite. Like they're dreaming about how good it's gonna be for when they get to sell these and they're gonna be rich and stuff and what they're gonna buy. And this is where I'm saying Mizoguchi does have these long takes, but he will cut, and when he does cut, like that's when they become super important because. He shows this shot of them talking about how they're going to be rich, and then he cuts to like this high angle shot of her rowing by herself while she's doing this chant. Like literally, her lines are like all is impermanent. You know, like basically contradicting exactly what they're saying. You know, like basically the lesson he's going to learn by both of them are going to learn by the end of the movie. You could say.
Yeah.
But then this boat comes and tells them this guy is like basically almost dying, and he tells them that they've been
So watch out for pirates.
Watch out for pirates, and then the pirates are also taking the women. So, and that's an important part because that's when they decide to leave the women behind and go alone.
Well, they leave just his wife.
Yeah,
because they need the other one.
Yeah, they need the other one to run. Yeah, honestly, that's another point. Like, yes, exactly. They're like, you're more important than a woman. You're like, you're a driver, so we need you. Yeah. But also, they don't have a kid, so it kind of makes a little more sense for her to go because she's like, I'm going with you for sure. So she's also saying she wants to go. So I won't say like fully passive, but it's a very brutal moment if you know that they're not going to see each other again because like a more melodramatic movie might make it extremely odd they're not going to see each other again.
Yeah, they'd be like separate and they're like having they're like.
Well, it has that dramatic kind of feel to it, but it's very more detached. Like the camera's behind.
Yeah.
Like we're watching the boat
Close
and
up.
then like walks parallel while the camera's behind them, and then we do get some kind of cuts of like. Them seeing each other as we see them, but it's not as dramatic as like maybe a more.
There's no like super dramatic music, maybe.
No, yeah. It's kind of more just like uneasy, but it's still really brutal knowing like this is gonna be the last time they're really gonna see each other in person. Even though he's going to think he sees her, obviously at the end. But yeah, then we get the basically you could say our ghost is introduced, and this is basically 30 minutes into the movie. Is they're all selling their pots in this busy. Yeah, you said like it's a busy city.
Would you call the structure of this movie simple?
I think so. Yeah, it's like a very simple episodic. Like as
yeah,
I describe it,
it's
not hard to describe. You know, like it's not hard to remember.
It's like the two stories kind of start on the same path. They diverge.
But even in their divergence, they follow the same motives. Like
yeah,
they get exactly what they want.
They're parallel.
Yeah, they parallel.
Yeah,
they get exactly what they want, but then they, like I said, they fuck over the women in their lives, and then that's when they realize.
Yeah. They end at the same conclusion. You could say.
I will say that's, and I'm gonna bring this up at the end, but you could say Tobei's ending, the Samurai's, is the one maybe weakest part because it kind of ends to like almost happy, you know, where it's like all of a sudden just like, oh, they're okay almost now.
But are they?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it leaves it a little, but we'll get to that. So yeah, we see her come up. Did you? Okay, you guys have both seen this, never mind. But I'm wondering if someone had seen it for the first time, if they would have noticed she's a ghost. You know?
I don't think you would.
Because it is supposed to be a kind of surprise, you know? That she's a ghost, but
like I don't think you would be able to guess.
Like, obviously, in this context, we're watching in the horror movie context, you know? So it's like, if we're recommending a horror movie, she's going to be probably the ghost, you know? She's the way she shows up. But I don't know, like, you could definitely watch this movie and not know. And come as a surprise when he finds out later. So I'm actually not sure about that. But more important than that point is, like I've said at the beginning, she's not the horror of the movie, even if she is a ghost. So that's why
maybe you would be able to get something, because I do remember watching this time whenever she's first shown, like, she does look kind of translucent.
No, she's
very white. Very white.
She's very white, yes. 100%. But yeah, that's then the as he basically has his plot starting, like you said, this is what the paths diverge. Tobei also goes to buy armor right after he makes money. He goes to buy armor. Literally leaves his wife screaming for him. And this is where this movie is kind of brutal too, because like he leaves his wife. Very next scene, the wife, we see this like kind of sad shot of the wife just sitting by herself, like not. It's
a great shot too.
It is a great shot. She's just sitting by herself, not knowing what to do. Immediately gets attacked by these like soldiers. And this is where you could say, like, kind of, we've already seen a hint of these soldiers in the previous scene of, like, what they're willing to do, you know? So, like, we know, like, this is not going to be good, obviously. And, like, this is why I said, this is, to me, the most horror... This is why this movie's a horror scene. Not because of a ghost, like, scaring you, or a jump cut, or, like, gory blood, or anything like that. But it's basically the best example of what men do to women in the movie from, like, all examples. Because we've just seen Toby leave her. So that's one example of a man doing something to her. Then there's the literal men attacking her in this temple, you know, and basically raping her. And then there's also, if you kind of notice like how it's kind of cut almost like detached. Like it shows cuts of her like sandals. There's like it shows like outside, and then you hear like Buddhist chanting. And like to me that's almost like showing like there's like these Buddhist priests that are just like listening, like this happen, not doing anything. They're just like chanting in the background. You know, almost like you could say there's like another group of men just like not doing anything too as this happens. But yeah, it's just like a really depressing scene. Probably to me the most horrific scene in the movie.
Yeah, it probably is. It's made even more horrific by the fact that they just like literally throw money at her whenever they're done, because that's their justification for it. They're like, oh, it's all fine if I just pay her. So
yes. And then she does have this like kind of like brutal moment after where she walks out and she's like talking to Tobei like, of course you don't care as long as you become a samurai, like what happens to me, you know. And then the music is kind of interesting too in this movie. Like, I honestly need to listen to the soundtrack again, but like he's definitely mixing like Eastern and Western music a lot in the movie to kind of give this like very eerie tone, you know. Because, like, there's, like, in this scene...
What is Western? Like, what do you mean the Western?
I was going to mention this part, like, it almost sounds like blues in this movie, at this part. Like, I don't know the instrument, but, like, it has this kind of, like, weird kind of vibe to it as a...
Luke, turn your music on. I'm just kidding.
It is at 37-minute mark, I put in my notes, but, it's basically when he's going to the scene where he's going to go buy this kimono for his wife, and like it's playing this kind of sad bluesy music, and all of a sudden it shifts to this like really happy music as he's like daydreaming about his wife putting on the kimono. I don't know if you remember.
Like harmonica in the background.
Yeah, there's like a harmonica.
Yeah,
It is a harmonica.
Yeah, it is a harmonica.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they have that in Japan. If I had to guess, I don't know.
Not this time, I would
Yeah,
say.
okay, yeah, this time exactly. Like this,
Maybe
that's what I'm saying.
maybe the Portuguese brought it.
No, but then
I
if
don't know.
you like, if you go to the scene like right where he's like daydreaming about the wife putting on the kimono, it shifts to this really kind of like flowery music. Like all of a sudden, like this huge tonal shift. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
and
the
it's like beautiful.
Oriental.
Yeah, this Orient,
type
and then it goes
music.
back to that kind of harmonica. You know, it's like he's like shifting like back and forth.
Interesting.
And it, like you get this feeling like really fast because like so he's daydreaming, that music stops, and then the music stops. He turns around, all of a sudden Lady Wakasa's standing like right there almost. You know, it's almost
Yeah.
like it's like the quickest. It's like thing we get to like a jump cut or something.
Yeah.
Where she like appears all of a sudden like right when he's like thinking about his wife again. But that's when we get the kind of like horror moment of entering the
Manor.
and
or
the
whatever.
manor, the castle or whatever, you know, whatever gothic element. Which is, you could tell this movie has the kind of gothic German expressionist influence.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that the cinematographers who did a lot of like, I think he did like Rashomon and Yojimbo. This is the cinematographer that did Floating Weeds too.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
Like
did a lot
the
of Japanese-
remake or the original?
I think it's the remake,
The colored one.
the color one.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it is. But he said the reason why he got into movies in the first place was because of German expressionist film, which with this movie, like you can obviously kind of see like the huge influence of that. Yeah, this is where we get the kind of him basically falling for this. You could say ghost trap or however you want to
This
say
princess.
it. This princess. This is to me the Rivette story of Marie and Julienne influence, and this kind of
Yeah, okay, yeah, I guess I never...
the way he's
really-
filming all of this
yeah.
house and like
Yeah.
how easily he gives himself up to her without like at a certain point he's like, I don't care if
Yeah.
you're a ghost or not, like
Yeah,
you know that
yeah.
kind of
Damn.
you know, aspect.
Why did I not think of that the whole time I was watching this?
That's
crazy.
that's what I was like. That's why I said it last week too when I was talking to you.
Dude, I don't even
Yeah,
remember.
we brought up story more.
do not remember what we were saying
Yeah,
last
you did.
week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They also talk about like this is where like they also talk about themes of the movie kind of in a way because like she's like this is where he should like this is where you could say it's funny too because he should be noticing this fucking like rich princess is like wants to buy his like pottery from this like random like he's a poor potter and like all of a sudden he's like she sees him some master craftsman and like just wants to buy all of his work and he's just like oh yeah you know like you could tell like he basically has this kind of he wants to be praised like this you know
Yeah.
because he accepts it so easily and he's like
That's some pretty good pots, though. I'm not gonna lie.
no they are
He's an
no, but,
artiste.
because the reason why I bring this up because we see the samurai Tobe later and the way when we see him like after he gets his kill and he's like bragging and they're like how did you do it and he's like giving this long ass speech about how he like studies all the arts and the traditions and stuff like you could say he's doing the same thing in this scene too but it's just more like you know mild mannered and like more like realistic
Yeah.
but he's kind of doing the same exact thing he's like bragging about like all like without doing anything he's like bragging about like he's like oh the fruit of experience is beauty but only a master craftsman can create such beauty and stuff like that but she's basically you know boosting up his ego and then they go to I think it's like yeah it's basically during this scene where they say you must marry me and he doesn't say no like he obviously doesn't tell him about it he's already married.
Well,
Like,
they
he
sleep
doesn't say
together,
yes.
I think, and
They
then the
do.
next morning she's like, "Oh, the master is gonna be married or something."
Well, they're already married at that point. It's implied
Yeah,
because they say they're gonna get married. And he doesn't say yes or no, but they basically sleep,
yeah.
and it's kind of implied. He's like, "What did I do?" And it's like, like he's like acting all confused. And that's when like the servant is she's like laughing, and that's when the servant's like, "I'll leave you two alone to go to the springs." And this is what I'm saying. This is where like we get almost like the scroll like cuts of like the way the camera just moves across the screen from all of a sudden they're at this house, it moves across the screen and it goes to like the water. I think it like goes across the trees like in the forest and it lands on them in the water, like taking a bath. And she's like basically, you know, giving him a bath, and he's like having the time of his life. You know, like it's a very pleasurable moment in the film too to watch because for the whole movie you've seen basically darkness. Like the whole movie's been so black, you know, and like so depressing. Like even the way he's living, you're like how you almost want him. You still want him to get out of his like you said his misfortune too. Like so you almost feel kind of relaxed. Like at least he's having this kind of like I don't know, he feels so much like everything's so much more open and free. Like there's a lot more white in the scene. You know, it's a lot brighter.
We should probably just like reinstate how insane the mise en scène is too again.
Yeah,
because like
it's
truly just like unbelievable. Like I can't.
Also the
like,
contrast, like how bright these kind of scenes are.
All the little like just
the
the textures of it, the details of it is just insane.
Yeah. Well, even the contrast in the house too, because like we have these bright scenes, but then we also have the father's armor and stuff like that, which that's very dark, and those are moments where he should be realizing like
that scene is so dark. That scene is so fucking dark. It's crazy.
That's like the scene where he should be realizing like, oh, this is not a real person probably, like after what she's told me also, but
and then maybe like my favorite like at least transition shot in the movie is this from the water to the tree when they're in the when they're sitting at the tree and it like cuts across this like kind of like grainy grass or whatever and it's just like all close up and the camera just moves and then it goes up and like shows this kind of wide shot of them with this like single tree behind them. It's just like it's so
like
good.
Isn't there like a single tree that's tiny tree too, like right there? I don't know.
Is there? I know there's like a tree behind them. Is there a smaller tree right next to them?
I think there's a smaller one
be.
too, maybe. But
I have no way.
Can't remember.
I had it pulled up, but no, it just like it almost like gets you sucked into the dream too, like as you're watching with them, like. But yeah, this is where he says, "Even if you are a ghost or enchanters, I'll never let you go. I never imagined such pleasure existed." And yeah, he's basically fully into the illusion at this point. And this is also something I put in my notes as I was watching this time. What I realized is maybe a more traditional movie would have way more cuts to the wife. You know, these kind of back and forth to give you the relation of, oh, this is the wife he's fucking over, you know, and like, because we were interested in her drama too. But then all of a sudden, like, we basically haven't seen her, you know, this whole time as he's getting sucked in. And it's basically only after he's totally completed, that's when we cut back to this wife. And that's when we're going to see her technically die, but as we watch it, it's kind of crazy. This whole scene, this is a classic Mizoguchi one take, one scene. Because it's like a single shot as the kids are running away. She's running away with her kid. These two men come, and they're just like really hungry, but also apparently, but they're like they rob her, and she's like begging, like, it's just for my child. It's not even for me. Just like leave some food for my child. But she's facing away from the camera. We see the guy stab her, and she falls over as the camera like. First she falls over, and I think the camera like kind of moves to the left, and like it gets more wide as we see like the men kind of walking away and stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't know if she's died or not. She kind of just falls over. It never makes it like clear anyway. The first time you're watching if she's died.
Yeah.
So you can kind of buy maybe when he comes back later, at the end, maybe she is alive. You know, because I think that's the last. Yeah, this is the last time we're gonna see her. But then we see, this is when we see the samurai get his kind of kill. This is when he gets his dream. Where he brings... So what's going... So this guy... So the younger guy is killing this older guy for him? I actually don't know exactly why this older guy's letting the younger guy die.
What do you mean?
I mean, why this older guy is letting the younger samurai kill him?
I think it's just because he's dead. He's going to be dead anyway. I think that's what's implied, at least. Isn't this guy already basically dying? Like this famous general? Or whatever he is? I think he's already basically, like, dead.
Okay. Yeah, I guess they don't really explain that much. I guess it's just like an older general's about to be killed, and then he's taking advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because then, like, right after the younger samurai kills the older samurai, Tobe comes in and kills the other guy.
Yeah.
And brings the head to the general.
It's so funny. Because this literally, like, I literally just watched Kubi. And this scene basically happens in Kubi. It's just like played for actual laughs, but that's why.
But his like proud stance on the horse or whatever is really funny.
Bro, this guy is hilarious.
Wait, what's the part of the movie that you said was like really funny? Like one of the funniest?
No, we're still getting there.
We're still not there
yet. We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
It's just such a small moment, but it just cracks me up. Like, I can't get the... Okay, I'll bring it up in a second, but we're close. but yeah, because like basically this general is like kind of cracking up that he doesn't even believe him. He's like he knows this.
Oh, it's hilarious.
He's like,
yeah.
I'll give you it. Fuck it. He's like almost doing.
He's like whatever you want.
This is like a guy that's almost like doing it for the plot. He's like okay, whatever. It's like not that much to me anyway. Let's see what happens. So like so the next cut is this guy is an official samurai. So like even in the movie's context, like the general like doesn't even like actually give him that much honor, but he's still giving him like at least the physical honor. Like not
he's giving him the possessions, so.
And that's all he wants.
Yeah,
you know, he's like I can do the rest. I can fake the rest. You know. So yeah, he goes immediately to this brothel as he's like celebrating on this horse, and that's when he gets the kind of melodramatic moment of meeting his wife, who works at the brothel, and that's what she tells him. Some success for a woman, isn't it? You must always be pleased. This is what you always wanted. Success always comes with a price and suffering. Your wife may be fallen, but your success wipes the slate clean. I think that's like, you know, I said one of the themes of the movie is it's kind of like what men are willing to do to women at the price of their own success, you know. And then it basically kind of leaves on them arguing. We don't know what's going to happen to them, and it cuts back to Genjuro, and this is okay. Yeah, this is basically the scene where I was saying it's really funny because like this is where Genjuro's back in public now.
Yeah,
he's actually away from the
house.
The house, and so he goes and sees I think he's selling his pots or buying. I forgot what he's doing. He might be buying something. Yeah, he's buying something for the house. And the guy's like telling him the price, and he's like, "Oh, where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to Katsuki Manor," I think he says. And the guy's like, "Oh, just take it. Like, I don't want anything to do with that. Just take everything." And the guy's like, "Okay." Like, he's like, he knows something's wrong, but like, it's like that denial phase, basically.
Yeah.
Like, because everything's right, at least for now, he doesn't want anything to actually be wrong, you know. And this is like the funniest cut in the movie to me, because then it, like immediately after that, it cuts to this close up of this priest walking, and Like I don't think we even have like it's like the most random cut too because like we haven't seen this priest before the whole movie, so it cuts to this random priest walking, and then Genjuro's almost like walking on the way, like you could almost like I don't know if I'm supposed to hope that he's thinking, hopefully the priest doesn't say anything to me as he's walking by, or he's just like innocent enough to be like, oh, there's nothing wrong, but then when the priest like walks by him and then stops him, it's like so funny because like he turns around like he knows he's about to say something, and then like the priest says, "Wait, I see something terrible. I see a terrible omen in you." And the noise he makes is like the funniest noise to me. He goes, "Ooh," like I can't even describe it. Just like ooh, like it's like really fast. But he's like, there's like some terrible omen. Are you the part? Was that it?
Wait, who said it?
Genjuro says it.
I know, yeah.
It's just like in the context of the movie, it just cracked me up.
Okay, also, okay,
because like he's trying to pretend that nothing's happening to him, right? Like everything's normal, there's nothing like supernatural going on.
Yeah.
So like that first scene where that guy, I want nothing to do with it. He's like, oh, okay, maybe that'll just like an anomaly.
The priest.
So then there's like a priest literally telling you there's like an ill omen. And he's still like, ooh, like he's like trying to like act like there's like a...
Okay, but also you got to mention the hat that the priest is wearing is hilarious too. It's like that long ass like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like like a sawed off shotgun, like double shotgun barrel on his head.
I don't even remember what it looks like.
It looks so stupid, or maybe it's some like actually like serious like.
It's probably what they actually wore on us.
But it looks funny to me.
It might be.
It looks really funny.
But I do think this priest is kind of funny, though. Because even though I guess he does play an important part in terms of the plot narrative of the movie, because he's basically going to get Genjuro basically free of this ghost with these kind of Sanskrit symbols that he writes on it. Writes on his body. He tells me he's going to exorcise the ghost. Which he kind of just... this is maybe where... Like, once he gets away from Lady Wakasa, he maybe can start thinking about his own wife more and stuff like that, because he's like, he finally lets it happen, where he's like, okay, maybe I should, not let this ghost, maybe there's something wrong here. But yeah, he comes back, and this is when Lady Wakasa and the serpent kind of realize he's acting weird and something's wrong. Or that's when they see I think she tries to touch him or something, and she like
she's
freaks
like,
out.
he has something on his skin.
Yeah, he's like, he has something on his skin, and that's when he reveals the Sanskrit symbols. And this is where, like, you could say this is where a more normal ghost movie would make her the more kind of evil person, but it kind of gives her position because, like, the serpent's like, why did you even let her marry you? If you already married, why do you didn't even tell us? Like, why do you even let that happen? You know, so already making him the kind of person at fault, not necessarily her, even though she did marry him. And she does say, like, oh, I don't care if you were married, like, I'll stay married to you, you know?
It's still kind of funny, though, because, like, she's... The whole reason that the old servant did this for this girl is so that she could experience love, and I'm just like, well, she got the full experience of love, man. Like,
yeah. No, that is true. Except for it didn't last that long.
Well,
maybe you said that's...
But, yeah. I like that reasoning as to why the ghost is even here in this world still. Because she didn't get to experience love, so... That's why her spirit stayed.
No, that's actually a good point, yeah. No, yeah. But then, I love these shots, too, of him leaving, like, when he goes to grab the sword, and, like, the shot of him, like, he, like, falls down, and he's, like, facing away from them as he's swinging the sword, and it's, like,
well, I just, like, I think he follows, I think he falls, like, right onto his knees, like, right in front of the armor, too, like, before he grabs the sword, because it's, like, really cool, because he gets, like, really freaked out, but...
No, this is like the shot where he's like crawling away from the camera, and the camera's just like going closer to him. Like it's one of the more exciting shots you could say in the movie. Where he's like basically swinging the sword straight at the camera as he's like trying to like fight off the ghost, you know. And just like this great shot, like the trees are like covered in the fog behind him as he like runs away. And there's I don't know if you guys remember the shot. We've seen it repeatedly throughout the movie. This kind of crane overhead shot of the whole setting that they're living in, of like. The kind of house, and there's like this little tree in the foreground, and like it's basically a top-down angle. But then when he's running away, it actually shoots it through the trees instead of like from above, and it kind of just makes it more like menacing. Like he's been showing it like from a certain perspective the whole time. Then like as he's running away, he like basically changes it. It's kind of great. But then he arrives, and this is kind of like the most I don't know. It's the most like simple. But like seductive, I don't know, like entrancing thought too, because you can miss it if you're not paying attention. Like when he walks into his house, it is dark. Like I went back and rewatched it. It is dark, but then as the camera like spins around slowly as he's like walking around, and it slowly comes back, it shows her just at the center with the fire, and you're like, wait, did I miss something? Was she there the first time? Like because it's in that one take, you know, it's not a cut or anything. So like, wait, did I fucking miss something? But like. No, she's just right there, and he just easily accepts it. He just like it's almost how he easily accepts the first ghost. You know, it's like I want this to be true, so it's true. Even though because he's not questioning how he just walked in, there's no one in there, the house would be like destroyed, and then like as the camera just turns around, it's like brightly lit, and she's like it looks like a normal house, but yeah, he tells her like I realize now you were right, my mind was warped. You know, a classic Buddhist thing you could say. But yeah, they go to sleep, and there's like amazing shot of her. Oh yeah, I should say the kid also arrives too.
Yeah, the kid's there too.
They kind of add to the realism of the moment too, because they're like, both of them are alive. Like if you don't know if she's died at this point. But yeah, it ends on this scene of her just like sewing something as the father and the child go to sleep. Then it hard cuts the next day. And as he's yelling for his wife, the village chief comes up and it's like basically like confused, like, what are you talking about? Like she's not here.
She's been dead.
Like are you dreaming or something? And it basically fades to black as he sits in the room, like basically thinking about basically her not being alive anymore. And to me, this is the scene that Mizoguchi probably didn't like the least because he actually wanted it to be a way sadder movie. But the producer kind of made him make this a happier moment of the samurai and the wife kind of coming back together at this end, where like he's throwing away all his stuff in the water, and she tells him, "Don't let my suffering be in vain." Like Mizoguchi, I guess wanted to make it. I don't know exactly how more depressing he wanted to make it with this character, but basically this is like you could say this is the maybe Luke Malay says like a superimposed happy ending on the very end. That kind of contradicts the rest of the movie.
But it's
like,
not like...
It's not too bad.
It's not super happy either.
It's just more the tone of the movie. It's more kind of... It's just, like, really quick and, like... like compared to with the ending we're about to get with the other two.
Because it's not a happy ending necessarily for him.
With Toby.
Yeah.
But you could say it is, like he still gets his wife back.
Yeah, but
And,
like,
like,
is that
nothing-
really what I mean?
Because like at least Genjuro, his ending is a lot more kind of you could say beautiful. Like you could say happy in a way because she still is there at the end, but not there physically. You know. And that's why.
But
like,
now his dreams are crushed though. The other guy.
For Toby.
Yeah, the dreams of the samurai.
But those dreams were they real in the first place? That's kind of the whole point of the movie.
Yeah, I
Like, should
guess
even
I
have
don't
those
know.
dreams, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Well, and are those dreams even that good? Like,
yeah, exactly.
'cause
Yeah.
he did achieve that dream technically.
Yeah, technically, it was a very technicality.
Very technically.
But yeah, this is where we get the great last ending of basically this voiceover,
Yeah, it's a great voiceover.
which I love. This like I mentioned the kind of like little groan he makes when the priest like tells him and he like goes. "Ugh." Like there's another little moment of this where she's reading the voiceover and she kind of sighs where she says like you finally become the man I had hoped for, but alas. And she kind of sighs. She's like, but alas, I no longer am living in the world. I suppose such is the way of the world. Oh, she's like, I'm no longer among the living. I suppose such is the way of the world. And the way she just says, but alas, it's just like, you're like, damn. Like, just like, but alas. It reminds me of like, I don't know if you guys remember the sigh in Sans Soleil. I don't even remember exactly what she's
The
talking
sigh,
about.
you
There's
said?
like, she sighs. She's like, I forgot what she's talking about.
Clip that.
Yeah, clip that. But it's like it's a very similar where she's like basically like resigned to like what's happened, you know. And it's that kind of like voiceover, but it's like
That's some shit you only notice if you watched it like 10 times, like you.
Sans Soleil.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've even seen it that much, honestly.
It's probably close, dude.
Maybe because I just remember her voice. The voiceover in Sans Soleil is like literally so good.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%.
But yeah, that's the basic movie ends with the child putting the flowers in the grave, and it kind of goes to this wide shot of the field, basically.
Life goes on.
And life goes on, and starting exactly where we like it ends where we start, except for without the wife. You know, kind of this lesson learned.
Yeah.
Has a like this is the simplicity to the movie. It has a very very like simple fable tale. You know, that kind of structure.
It's a great last shot though.
Great
Really
last
is.
shot of the
Really
field.
is.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's Ugetsu. And welcome back to Floating Through Film as we continue week one of the horror series with Coppola's film Twixt, directed in 2011. Have you guys seen, how much of Coppola have you guys seen in general?
Basic ones.
Have we done any?
I don't know if we've done any. We didn't do Metropolis.
I don't think we have.
Or
yeah.
Megalopolis.
Yeah, these are both blind spots for the podcast.
'Cause, yeah, we haven't done the other one you really like the
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
No, the other
Oh,
Coppola
Oh,
movie.
Youth Without Youth.
Youth
Actually,
Without
that's why I was
Youth.
bringing that up because I don't. Have you guys seen that?
No.
No, I still haven't seen it.
Also,
Yeah,
one
what,
from
what have you guys seen? I don't even know your guys' reference points.
Basic ones, and then
So the Godfather,
Megalopolis.
Apocalypse Now, Conversation.
Godfather Part 1 and 2. I haven't seen Part 3.
Have you seen Dracula?
No.
actually,
I've seen
I haven't
one.
seen
I've
Dracula.
seen One from the Heart. Even
Okay.
though, honestly, I wasn't crazy about that. But maybe I should give it another shot because I should
You
like
hate the
it.
only good musical. No, I'm kidding. It's not my favorite couple either. But that's more interesting than an experiment because they try to film it like a live like TV episode almost because it's
Yeah.
like everything's live. But yeah, so have you guys seen Rumblefish? No, I'm assuming no.
No. Tucker and the Man in His Dreams I've seen. But...
No, he's a really. But I'm sure. Yeah, both of you guys have seen Godfathers already, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically obviously what he's known for in Apocalypse Now. Those are his big three, and then Conversation is kind of like the fourth. If like, you're more into American film history, you watch those. But then like
Con Club.
Yeah, the Con Club also. But that one's more.
Which
That's
is
the when he started making his later kind of more smaller movies.
Yeah.
This is when he made like the movies like The Cotton Club in the '90s, Dracula, One from the Heart. One from the Heart's kind of known as his like his first independent movie that he broke away from like the the Godfather and Apocalypse Now and stuff, and it was like a huge bomb.
No, it's so funny because kind of how crazy he just got.
Yes, yes, that's kind of what I was hoping you guys had seen more, but
no, I understand the general trend. I feel like
especially to get to this point, 2011 Coppola, where he's just seen as like we've talked about late style before. But, to me, Coppola is just like
people think he's lost his mind basically at this point.
Not lost his mind, but just like lost his skill too. Like
well, both. Yeah.
Because some people are like, oh, he's lost his mind, but it's a good thing,
Yeah.
They're actually great. But like a lot of people, I don't know. It just depends on who you ask. Like this whole thing on Twitter going around this week of like unks of film Twitter, like what are your?
I'm thinking about you.
Okay, get out of here.
You are
fuck you. No,
Mr. 30.
In film Twitter age, I'm fucking the younger shit.
No, you're not.
Yes,
no, you're not. You're getting up there. Time's
damn. Yeah, I mean that's what this movie fucking says. Damn. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but I kind of it was like something about Coppola.
That's something I would also. No, you were talking about like film history and shit or something.
You the unks of film Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter.
Twitter.
You're bringing that up.
Oh yes, because it's like I wanted to say like he's more known for The Godfathers, and then like people don't like later ones, but like nowadays I don't know what is popular, what's not popular. Like we're all in our own micro bubbles, and like whatever our algorithm shows us, it's like what's popular or not. But like just traditionally, The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, those are the ones that are his masterpieces. And these movies are seen, like, even critically at the time, are just, like, kind of, Coppola, he's making cheap movies, spending his own money. But, both these movies, obviously Youth Without Youth we're not doing, but that one I love. This one I really like. And, even if I watch it a few more times, I might love it on the same level. And the reason for that is, like, I love how, basically, opposite of Apocalypse Now this movie is. It's, like, so simple. I just can't believe because like for a director that made like such big movies, where like they're known for like these epics and like filming all these footage and stuff, and then kind of getting this movie where it's just like filming one actor and like just like it's such a low budget movie, and at times you can really tell like with the kind of like HD cam is shot on and like especially like the opening scenes and stuff. But I kind of like the kind of low aesthetic vibe, and the reason for that because I love that, like that beginning kind of cheapness feel, but then really what makes the movie still stylistically Coppola to me is all the stuff with the horrific elements. When we get I don't know if you guys knew this, but this movie was shot day for night, almost all of it. So like when he's like walking at night, technically, it's shot in the day, and you kind of tell that's why it's like has this like very like bright moonlighty feel to it, because it's like it doesn't feel like any kind of real nighttime,
Yeah.
And just like we're gonna talk about it, but just like all the kind of silhouette shots we get at the end with the priest, and then how great she looks. Just
I would say anything in the dream world. Looks
basically, any of the
amazing.
dream world, and I think that's honestly like that's why the cheapness of the real world makes it kind of stand out to me. Almost like it plays into the low budget aesthetic because it makes even the dream world feel even more dreamy. With how saturated the colors feel and kind of how like stylistically unique it feels versus the kind of low budget basicness it feels like when he's just in the hotel room. But like that, and to me, like to kind of sum up to that point, it just feels like I still see that Coppola, even in this low budget. You can tell it's only a few actors. It's not very. It doesn't have a lot of people working on the set. I can still see that kind of stylistic filmmaker trying to use cinema's like latest advancements.
Yeah.
And to him that was digital. Like I know a lot of filmmakers are really kind of they're basically addicted to the film look, and you would think Coppola is like would be one of those guys. He's like fucking
old,
like he's like he's the oldest of the Scorsese.
I feel like when you think of also like
Spielberg bunch,
I feel like when you think of the word when a lot of people hear the word like classical cinema, like the Godfather films are very much like
yes. And to me, that's what makes him interesting. These themes are very classical in this movie.
Yeah.
And the kind of gothic influence and Allan Poe, obviously, and stuff. But it's the technique and the kind of innovations he's using and like what he's seen what cinema can do even in this low budget form, which I find really inspiring. He's still like kind of pushing the boundaries, and I have this quote because I was watching an interview he did about Twixt on YouTube that I found, and he said just to kind of go on this theme of like how he kind of embraced the digital image versus a lot of filmmakers, if you would think of his ilk would kind of embrace film because they would be the only ones that can kind of get it, he said, quote, and he was saying basically he was talking about how for a long time, even before we got digital images, we got digital sounds, we got electronic sounds, even the electric guitar and stuff is a digital sound, so he's like already in electrical sound we had seen how potential far the advances had gone, and he was like we knew it was only a matter of time for digital. And it's kind of, now that I'm just thinking about this, it reminds me a lot of how Bertov talks about like sound first. He's like, we knew sound was coming in film even before sound ever got there. He's like, he was already thinking about it. It's like Coppola the same way he's thinking about the technology in film. But he said, quote, "We knew that if the electronic image could ever have the beauty and the quality of the photographic image, then the cinema would become a magic genie. Because then there would be nothing that you couldn't do, as we're learning and we're seeing. So I was very much a proponent of it. So when I made this decision 60 years ago to make now little low-budget films, I decided they would all be electronic. Because the key of photography is really the lens, the quality of the lens, and the eye of the cinematographer." Especially that last part is like something I really agree with. It's like, even more than if you're shooting on film, if you're shooting on digital, yes, the lens is extremely important. Like that's why I feel like Bresson, Ozu only uses 50mm lens, because they say they know that's how the world is translated a certain way to you as you're watching. And then also, who's behind the camera, obviously, which is most important. That's why I say Coppola. I get the Coppola that made Apocalypse Now and The Godfathers, those epics. I can still see that in this, like the way he's using these kind of cinematic techniques. And just honestly how beautiful the movie is, too. And then the last thing I kind of think is really important to the movie is, I don't know if you guys know this, and I only learned this after I'd seen the movie the first time, did you guys know how Coppola's son died?
No.
Because Coppola had a son in the 80s that died in a boating accident. Exactly like this that happens in this movie.
Same.
Like literally exactly. Like it's kind of crazy. Like apparently he filmed it exactly how it happened, like with the two boats coming and the rope and everything. And the reason that's important is because, I mean, obviously it's important in the movie, but like the way he came about this movie is he said he just had this dream of this ghost that had come to him, and like he had seen this kind of kids in this place, but he didn't know how the movie was going to end. He's like, he just started making the movie based on this dream. He's like, I'll find the ending. Like you can literally see that in the movie. Like this guy's like, how am I going to end this movie? And basically, like he says the ending basically came to him the same way. Like Edgar Allan Poe tells him is like, you are the ending you seek. He's like, that's when he realized like he basically had to put himself in it, and he's like, he basically saw it as a very kind of like like basically how art can do. Basically put yourself in a film to kind of think about it in a way.
Yeah.
And it's like now watching it the second time I'd watch it after knowing that, it kind of hits so hard. I'm like, damn, like I know directors get very personal in their movies.
Yeah.
But like that's just very direct.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
that's very personal.
Like it's extremely personal. Yeah. And honestly, in a way, almost like only a low budget digital movie can do, because like we're gonna talk about in a little bit. My next series is gonna be obviously experimental cinema, and that's one of my favorite aspects. Is like you get so much more freedom when you're just by yourself or with a few people, and you can just do whatever you want. Versus like I have to be beholden to the Godfather, the studio of the Godfather, the studio of the Apocalypse Now people, and I have to be beholden to this big budget. Where it's kind of the exact opposite, where he can kind of find the ending as he's going, and then at the same time make it something extremely personal because like he's not beholden to all those things, But yeah, I kind of gave my reasons for why I love, at least why I picked the movie. But what do you guys think of it? We'll start with I feel like I always start with Luke. We'll start with you, Blake.
No, yeah. I don't love it as much as you, I would say. I do really, really, really love the Dream World stuff. Like that stuff, I actually felt I loved everything that happened in there. Like it's where I feel like he was allowed to just do whatever he wants. Like literally discuss the creation process, kind of what it takes to create in general. Is a lot that is discussed in the Dream World. The real world stuff, it's more hit and miss with me. I don't know. It's the stuff I remember the least about, I'll say. I remember most of the things that happen in this dream world, like all the story beats and everything. And then in the real world, of the movie, I remember like this detective, and that's basically it. but I do like knowing the backstory now. I guess it does make it like I can see that hitting harder on a rewatch for sure, because whenever I watched it this time, I also really liked it, and I would like to know what the difference is between the director's cut and the actual cuts, or the theatrical cut. But
well, apparently, it kind of goes what you're saying. I haven't seen the director's cut, which I will watch, which is called, I think, Betwixt, and it's actually the title he originally wanted.
Betwixt, it has sunrise in it. I don't remember what it's actually called,
but I had it somewhere in my
Betwixt Now and Sunrise, the authentic cut.
Yes. But I think from what I heard of someone talk about it was he cuts out the kind of ending where it kind of takes you back to reality. It leaves you in this kind of the dream world.
Yeah, I read that cut that ends with Edgar Allan Poe at the end or whatever.
Oh wait, with what?
With
what?
It ends with like Edgar Allan Poe. That's what I read.
Okay.
It like ends with them on a cliff or something, talking.
I actually don't know. Yeah. That's the one I only heard one person say. Is basically it kind of ends more darker and like kind of this more like back to the reality of the story, you know.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like it too, because it makes it more about the creation. But I want to see how if it just ends more on the.
What else? It kind of reminded me of In the Mouth of Madness.
Yes.
No. Yes, it does. 100%. It did remind me of that a little bit too.
Which we did for the podcast.
No, I definitely think it did.
Just the writing process kind of.
And then kind of getting stuck.
Yeah, in like the dream world.
And the kind of madness of your own.
I guess now that I'm thinking about it, I do kind of like, I guess, some of the real world themes, just like his pressures of like what he like basically has to get done to actually do like a passion project. So because he's basically just this hack writer, but this hack witchcraft writer.
No, but he's a hack, but like he also has deep taste. Like we see him, like he loves the. It's like I think it's a Whitman book he has, and his wife's like.
Oh my god! Yeah, that seems amazing. That seems amazing.
Also, another little personal aspect is, so the main actor is
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, RP. I think he died this year.
Yeah, I think he did.
I kind of love his like. He's almost like in a different movie. Like he's not. He's more in the writer kind of real world movie versus the. Like. To compare in my head, he's like more in the real world, and like the priest or the pastor, he's very much in the kind of dream world. You know, he's very theatrical.
Yeah.
Versus like Val Kilmer, he's very more natural in his acting and stuff. So it's a very good like kind of dichotomy in the movie. But his wife or his ex-wife at the time is the wife in the movie as well. So like there's like these little like personal elements in the movie that they're trying to they kind of fight kind of would be like more based maybe on a real argument, you know, or something like that.
Yeah, I can see myself liking it more on a rewatch. First watch definitely liked it, but didn't love the entire experience. So.
Okay. What about you, Luke?
Yeah, I liked it too. Obviously, there's just a lot going on, and like. So I definitely need a rewatch for sure, but I definitely liked it like a lot of the dream world stuff, and like kind of what Blake was saying about like the creative process as well. Also Val Kilmer I liked a lot.
Val Kilmer is good in this movie, man.
Yeah, he's kind of Coppola just lets him go to work. I like that.
Honestly, I think my favorite person though was actually Elle Fanning.
She's good too. Yeah.
She had less screen time than I thought she would, honestly.
No, yeah, this is another like I guess I mean even like why we're doing this is a horror movie. Is this
Yeah, this is a horror movie. Yeah.
Is this more of a classical horror movie? Like you would say?
I would say it has like classical gothic elements. Like it's a vampire story. It's not like as scary as some can be, but it's still a horror movie.
I actually
like this feels like it almost feels a little bit like Sweeney Todd, like a very stylized, at least in the dream world, like very stylized violence too. But
yeah, 100%.
Like everything's just so red.
Yes.
Oh my god, the red's so red.
The red's so basically all the colors are very colorful, and like
it's
just we just did Johnny Toe, but I just love the darkness in the movie. Like I said, a lot of it's shot day for night. But there's also these very deep blacks in the house when we see the priest kind of like that are like the black in that house is very different than the kind of day for night, more moonlight dark. You know, so like even the darknesses are very varied throughout the movie. So like, and then yeah, as we're gonna talk about some shots I love, but it also has he loves his themes of time, like youth with the youth.
The daylight savings time talk in the house is fucking hilarious. I know we'll get to it, but it's hilarious.
This idea of the clock with 7 faces that I'll show different times. No, because that's my favorite part about this movie is like, I don't think the story is that important. Like the idea of who's the real killer or whatever.
Oh no,
like he said,
I don't remember any of that.
The whole thing is about making up a story so you can kind of almost find some truth about yourself. Like the idea of what the artist is doing in the first place, you know. But yeah, so that's why, like, even to me, it doesn't make total sense. Even though I guess it is the sheriff at the end of the day that is the killer.
Probably.
Just the way he's talking.
I honestly didn't care, but
I do like this how creepy that guy is.
He's memorable. He is memorable.
Just the scene of him when he introduced, he's like, "Oh, I know the device that they might be using."
Oh, Bobby Lagrange.
Yeah.
Or whatever his name is, isn't that?
Yeah, that is his name. And Hal Baltimore is the other guy's
Hal Baltimore. What name?
No, yeah, but I think we can go ahead and get into it. We get some great, just like almost like documentary, just shots of this like small ass town. And apparently, it was a real town they went to, and I guess North California somewhere. But they filmed that, and like that's what I said. Like all these like beginning shots, you can kind of actually feel that. Like Val Kilmer's, it feels like he's in some actual like little bookstore, you know, where he's like trying to sell these books.
You mean a hardware store? No,
oh yeah, is that a hardware? Yeah, actually, it doesn't even look like.
No, it's a hardware store.
Or maybe it's like a general purpose store or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely It's like basically just the town. The town like get everything here, but it's just funny that he thought he was going to a bookstore. And it's literally just a hardware store, basically.
But that's when, of course, Bobby Lagrange comes and meets him and tells him he's also a writer. Honestly, the way he introduces himself is so funny too. He's like. He calls him a bottom basement Stephen King. He's like, how's it going to be a bottom basement Stephen King? He's like, not too wonderful. And then he's like, but I'm also a horror writer. And then tells him he has a case. So even like, it kind of makes sense for Bobby Lagrange to also be the killer too, because like, if he's a writer, he's also trying to create his own stories, you know. But yeah, then we get, I forget how he gets told about the Edgar Allan Poe Hotel.
I think it's just some random citizen, or like random citizen, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot either way, but he goes to this old hotel that Edgar Allan Poe stayed at, then he goes to his own motel. And that's when he basically... I don't know if... it's never clear like what happens to his daughter until the very end, you know, with that boating accident. Well, we get some hints that something happened to his daughter. Like this picture, like... he has this picture of her, and then he calls. His wife calls, and I think they talk about her too. Yeah, but then, like, this is all just introductory stuff before this kind of first scene where he goes back into the day for night scene, where he's like walking to the forest, and it's almost just like this is where it's like, yes, it's like a ghost. It's honestly very similar to how Letty Wakasa shows up. Where it's like, yes, she's a ghost, but she just shows up like she's normal. She's talking normal, like. It's not scary.
And he's talking to her like it's normal.
Yes, both ways. They're not scared of each other, you know? Maybe that's why I like both these movies, where it's like just chill ghosts, and it's like, you know...
Just chill ghosts.
There honestly might be something to that. But yeah, like, I love her design, too, like how white... Like, you said the red stand out, she's, like, her white, like, this is also very, like, Lady Class, she's also very white.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you kind of know, maybe, like, she's the ghost, you know? But yeah, she's like this is a digital white though.
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
This is where like I'm saying like you don't have to like.
Now this has some elements of Obayashi's like Hanagatami, honestly.
Well, it's shot
like
kind of
the nighttime CGI scenes or the nighttime green screen.
And also just like the way like the people are shot too.
Yeah.
Like how close they feel. Like,
yeah.
Or just like the I forgot what you call it when it's like the field of view. you're shooting at. The field of view he shoots at is very similar to Obayashi, I feel like.
more closer up shots?
Yeah.
I had Hanagatami on the mind whenever I was watching this.
Like, yeah, you could. I mean, honestly, the Hanagatami shot of her with the moon in the background,
Yes.
it has the kind of like closeness to the camera look.
Of the guy with the moon rising behind him.
Well, it's the girl.
And
I'm thinking about the girl
Or the
shot.
girl, yeah.
And I haven't seen it obviously, but from what I know, you guys have told me like he basically uses the kind of to like he's not trying to make it realistic. He's making like style like that's like this movie, where it's like basically. Oh yeah, I can see. Basically using the moon like that.
Yeah.
And stuff. Okay. No, the moon is in this so much. Like
Yes,
this is what I'm saying.
amazing.
The clock tower's in here so much. The moon is like this is what I would be doing, just like shooting the clocks as much as possible, the moons as much as possible, But yeah, but then like she even tells them at one point keeping track of time here is pointless as they're walking. And then it's kind of just so like it's just so seamless as he's walking to the hotel. Or yeah, it's a hotel, right?
Yeah.
She just basically disappears, and he's like, "What the heck? Where did she go?" But he doesn't freak out. Like it's another thing. Like maybe that's another thing. Like the characters are more like just like going with it instead of being like, "Oh, like this is a horror thing. Like what's happening?" Like even towards the very end, like he's not like freaking out that much. It feels like, but yeah, basically right after El Piano disappears, he's like basically introduced to these two like hotel owners.
What's the red on the out? Like the red that you see on the inside of the hotel from the outside is so good.
Yes.
It's just like glowing.
Yeah, it's like just the sign is glowing, and like I think the inside of it is glowing a little bit as he walks in. And then I forget the actor's name who's playing the like one of the guys that's trying to fix the clock. I think he's trying to fix something.
Yeah, he's fixing something.
And he's like talking about daylight. He's like going on some rant about daylight savings time.
It's hilarious.
No, he's like daylight savings time was invented so men could golf more or something.
Golf longer, yeah.
But then he has this great quote: "You can't change time, time changes you," as he's like pointing at him. And then basically kind of telling them like just casually mentions how there's like 13 children that were murdered and they're all buried under the like right where he's standing and stuff. And then
That's how you know it's a dream, for sure.
Yes.
Because you're just getting these random ass like line read or dialogue scenes from these people. So and then they're pertaining to the plot in some ways.
Yeah. No, like he's definitely over it. Yeah. Like even the way she appears back in the window, I just love.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like kind of slow motion shot of her just like appearing, like writing her letter V, in the window, and it's like it's so sudden. Like she writes that, and then like the lady tries to attack her, and she bites her. El Founding bites the lady, runs away, and then Val Kilmer just runs out, and that's when we get this like very creepy slow motion shot of all these kids just like running out of the basement. And this was the kind of like base what Coppola based the movie on. This dream he had was like this kind of shot. Like he said, like he like wrote it down like right away after he had the dream, and it just like stands out so much. Like how white the kids are as they stand out, and they're just like running out of this like darkness. But there's like this red curtain you can see, and that's it for the redness. It's like a very kind of eerie shot. But yeah, like that's when Alfanny's telling him like what happened, like the at least this guy like basically killed all these kids, but we don't know how and stuff.
This pastor killed all these
people. This pastor, exactly. But then I think it's like as he's walking across the bridge, Edgar Allan Poe like shows up and starts talking to him too.
Which he's carrying this lantern this whole time too, which is it's so just like I don't know, it looks so good.
It does.
In the darkness.
So all these little lights just shine out in the darkness. Like they really stand out. But there's a line he says too. I think it's like right after El Fanning leaves, where he says, "My God, I'm lost. Maybe this is what I need, a story." And I think like that's kind of like his idea of like why he's writing in the first place, But then I think he just wakes up after Edgar Allan Poe shows up, and he's like I think his wife is waking up. His wife's like yelling at him on his like computer when he wakes up.
Yes.
And that's when she's like threatening to sell his like old Whitman book that's worth apparently $160,000 for an old.
But he's going like, no, it's worth way more than that. It's priceless.
Which is honestly, I guess you could say this is like a side theme of this movie. This guy just ignoring life for his
Just ignoring his family.
yeah, because she's the one that having to deal with all these finances and stuff. That's kind of implied. But then we get some quick exposition scenes of him like basically doing research on this like hotel and stuff, like what went on there and stuff. And that's when he goes to the sheriff office, and the sheriff tells him this basically has this place with all these birdhouses for some reason.
Bat houses.
Is it bat houses?
They're both.
Okay, they're both. Yeah, it's kind of there's like so many if you.
Yeah,
realize.
it's pretty awesome.
And Coppola was saying like you basically in these towns you would find like stuff. I don't know if this was
Yeah.
actually based on like a real place, but he was like in towns like this you would find like guys like this, you know, just like all this random shit. But yeah, that's when that's when he's like, I forgot what he says, but then Hall Baltimore is like, basically it's like says I just want to give you the idea for the story, and I'm gonna write the story. And he's like, I've got a hell of a lot more than an idea. That's when he's like telling him like what the plot could be about, like how they're doing the killing and stuff. And that's like maybe my favorite shot of Bobby LaGrange. Is like as he's smiling, you get this close up of him holding this like torture device that he's also made. Like that should give away he's a serial killer too, just for him thinking of this device, you know. But like you're kind of just like it's kind of almost clever, like how detailed it is. Like you see this like little like pokey like
wooden stake.
Yeah, this wooden stake. Yeah, it's a mechanical wooden stake that goes through this Barbie doll, and he's like the smile he has on his face. It's like all shot one like from the side. He's like smiling as he's showing, like clever. I forgot what he says, but it's just so funny. But that's basically right after that he goes and calls his agent. He's like, oh, I've got a new story idea.
It's called The Vampires.
Yeah, it's called The Vampire. Basically stealing this guy's idea.
Yes.
And this agent's so funny too, because he's like, it can't have a lot of style bullshit. And he's like, there's a great twist ending, and the agent's like, with heart?
With heart?
He's like, yes, with heart. He's like, I just need a $10,000 man, or
20. I think he says like 25,000.
He says 25,000.
And then the agent keeps on going like, it's 10,000.
He's like, thank you, 25,000, thank you. And he's like, it's 10,000. And then we get, this scene of him just like getting drunk, trying to write, and doing Brando impressions.
Stephen King.
Doing that old Brando impression.
That was pretty good.
Honestly, the funniest one is when he's like acting like a gay basketball player.
That one's hilarious.
He's like, I'm a gay basketball player from the '60s. I like short shorts. They're comfortable, but they help me jump high. The way he says it, I don't know, it's funny too.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, that's when he goes. Then he goes to basically the sheriff gets a medication, a bunch of sleep medication. And he's like, "This is my way to write." And the guy's like, "Don't you guys? I thought all you guys city writers just like got a loaded and then wrote." He's like, "Yeah, we do that too, but sometimes you have to dream or something." But then that's when it cuts to him in the forest again. And he's in his dream. He meets Edgar Allan Poe, and he's like, this is where like Coppola like does not care about like anything plot related, where you just get like this Edgar Allan Poe superimposed on this moon, like as he just like it's just like all these like very stylistic stuff he's doing, you know. It's not really important for the story anyway. And then they're basically talking as he's like asking Edgar Allan Poe how he should end his story, like Edgar Allan Poe's telling him basically. Do you guys remember what he says? Like what is? So he says. So I asked myself, all the melancholy topics, what according to the universal understanding of mankind is the most tragic? And do you remember what he says?
I remember the scene, but I don't
it's
remember
pretty
what
simple.
he says.
He just says death.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I thought, was it not beauty?
Well, and then he says, and when is the most tragic of melancholy topics the most poetical?
Oh.
Yes, and he's like, when it most loosely alludes itself to beauty.
Yeah.
And he says, the death, therefore, of a beautiful girl is unquestionably the most poetical topic in the world. Equally, it is beyond doubt that the lips best suited for such a topic are those of a man who loved her. And that's like, because apparently that's actually something Edgar Allan Poe wrote, like, I forgot what the text was called. But I think that's also, like, really Coppola actually finding his own ending in terms of, like, using it about his son. You know, like, not only is the death of in this case, his son, the most tragic, but it's also, the person best suited is the man who loved her, him, so that's why he feels like he has to tell the story almost in a way, like, so I found that very beautiful actually after knowing that as well. But then we get this kind of almost like Edgar Allan Poe's like in A Christmas Carol, with like showing him like how this like past event happened. He's like, can we change it? He's like, no, we can't do anything. Or he's like telling him what happened with the kids and stuff. But yeah, we get some kind of like we get the scene of with the Ouija board, which I don't exactly know what's going on there.
It's just the real world stuff. I still am just like a little bit mid on, but
I guess it would make more sense if even the real world stuff was like also kind of it ended almost like a dream kind of too,
Okay.
But yeah, then we do. This is basically what Val Kilmer lies to the kind of assistant cop that I haven't talked about yet, but he basically lies to him and gets him to go see the kind of flamingo people. This kind of basically the real world threat to the series, to Bobby LaGrange, which is basically the youth. The youth that are into sex and like the women that are sluts.
Evil sluts.
Yeah, evil sluts. And I kind of like that because I like how it makes Flamingo almost like, yes, he's like the villain on the other side, but is he actually a villain? Like, because in the end, like when Elle Fanning runs away, like like she's not running away to a villain, Is she like she's running away from a villain? But I guess you could say she's running from a villain to a villain, but like almost like it's a good thing for her, almost, based on how she was treated, but. But yeah, this is honestly the main part I remember from this scene is after Bobby LaGrange shows up and he's like pissed that they're doing this investigation without him. The way Coppola uses the flashlight, he's like first shining it all on Val Kilmer, and then he just moves it to shine it on Flamingo, and just like how like. Because we've got this very digital style this whole time, but that's actually just naturally lit with the flashlight, and he still looks very stylistic with how heavy his makeup is and stuff. And it kind of just like almost feels the same way as like the digital style we've gone through most of the movie. Just even the way it's like just brightly lit in one spot, and the rest of the part is like super dark, But that's like he like Sheriff's like, we're arresting you, and then all of a sudden he just disappears.
Yeah.
He just like you just hear his motorcycle driving off, and he's like, yeah, he does that.
Yeah, he does that.
But that's when we get this almost like this is where it's like we have this is just all for the cinematic style, the visual images of the movie where he's like, oh, I'm just gonna go to this clock tower, and we get this great shot of like the underneath of the stairs as he's climbing up, and it's like what he's like, he has this like kind of like freak out moment where it's like this like I think it's his daughter. You could say his daughter talking to him as he's like his like clock gears are behind him and shit, and he falls. And then he's like back in the forest with Edgar Allan Poe. And this is maybe like honestly some of the creepiest shots in the movie is just like when all the kids are cutting the lemons.
Okay.
And just like, cause just lemons and blood like don't mix well together. And then like those are just like the super colorful parts of the scene. Like everything else is dark, and there's like really bright yellow and then really dark red. And like just the way he's cutting to the blood and it's just like very surrealistic the way he's like cutting to everything.
It is. And
like the pastor's just like, oh, just kill. Like he's like trying to be happy, but he's pointing them to kill them,
Yes.
And like one of the daughters is like, I just found this, and they're just like all whispering and stuff, and then like it's a very creepy scene without being like overtly like, scares through jump cuts kind of or loud noises, Just the idea of like kids cutting themselves with lemons is like just creepy just watching it,
Yeah.
But yeah, just the idea of this guy like he thinks he's doing the right thing because he's trying to keep him away from the evil flamingo. But like it's just a very
that they're vampires in this world.
I was thinking if someone hadn't watched this movie and they're like listening to this right now, like what the fuck?
Yeah, what
are y'all even talking about? Like.
But I mean, he literally kills all of them except for Elle Fanning in this scene.
Yeah, because she's the one that runs away.
It's so good.
The
shot of him just like it's
lit,
insanely,
so just like
it's
the sound.
Creepy.
It's all a wide shot. Too.
This is whenever I was like the red was already really prominent, but the red like the skin here is just fucking insane. I'm just like damn.
No. Yeah, and just like just the silhouettes too. I've kind of skipped over like when they're in the classroom and he's talking to him earlier and stuff, and like he's having him sing the song. And one of the kids has run away to Flamingo, and he's that's what I'm saying. This is where it's like a lot of these shots are even better to me than a lot of the shots that pop up now in terms of like for like how low budget, just like not even a expensive camera, just doing all this stuff. But this is where Val Kilmer says, because the pastor still thinks he's doing the right thing, so that's where Val Kilmer says like, this is where the death of beauty, because he's killing his thing he loves most. But then the really creepy shots of Al Fanning getting captured by the the pastor, and getting trapped in this kind of brick.
Getting locked behind a brick.
Yes,
or just getting sealed away basically.
Yeah, and
and him hanging himself.
And then Edgar Allan Poe revealing that all of his characters of the girls that he writes in his various stories are based on a real person in his life named Virginia. And that's almost like kind of a hint for how he's going to end. Coppola's going to end his own story, by getting the hint from how Edgar Allan Poe uses his real connection with Virginia, his young wife that he used to have. But that's when we get this kind of Bobby LaGrange basically revealing to us, the audience, without directly telling us that he's a serial killer, where like he starts going on this rant, the same rant as the pastor. Of like, he's like, you think so, Bobby? You think they're evil sluts? And he's like, whom? So, the young girl. And he's like, whom? And he's like, whom? And he's like, the young girls. He's like, shit, yes, they're all dark things. Every one of them. They worship death and sex. And it's like, honestly, you can see a lot of like, it's just like must be a classic old guy thing. Because you could definitely see men saying this now.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially this idea of like blaming the other side and blaming the younger generation, for everything.
Yeah.
But then like that's when Kilmer just like looks at him suspiciously, and then gets hit in the head.
He's knocked out and back into the dream world.
Yeah. And I feel like it honestly could kind of make sense if he just gets knocked in the dream world for the rest of the movie, almost at this point.
No, it would
instead of coming back to the reality.
It would probably make it better. Honestly.
I need to watch this. I will definitely watch it at some point.
Plus, it's shorter. How often do you get a director's cut that's shorter than the actual movie?
Yes. No, this is rare.
Wait, the director's cut is what?
It's shorter than the actual theatrical cut.
Wait, how long is the director's cut?
It's like 122.
What's the...
This is like 128.
No, the director's cut is like...
122, right? An hour 22?
That was like... Yeah, an hour 22.
That's what I meant, yeah. This was like 28.
Yeah, because I was like, no, it's definitely not 2 hours.
Wait, I watched the hour 19 one.
Oh, you watched the director's cut?
Yeah.
So how did it end? Do you remember?
Okay, I'm confused now. Wait...
It's not much different, but...
Because we're at the part where he gets knocked out. We're at the part where he gets knocked out by the guy.
Wait.
Or by...
Well, we're basically at the shot... yes, he's got knocked out, and Edgar Allan Poe's taking him on this huge cliff. And he's like, do you want... This is the scene of the movie.
This is where Wikipedia says the Betwixt ends.
Oh, really? With this water scene?
Yeah, wait, like the...
With the cliff and stuff?
Yeah.
This is where it ends?
Yeah.
Oh shit! No, there's more after this.
What the fuck? Wait.
Because this is the scene of the fucking movie to me. So. Oh damn! Okay.
What the fuck?
Because no, this is where like if you know that kind of Coppola how his own son died in a boating accident, and basically kind of all these elements coming together. Mm-hmm. Or Edgar Allan Poe tells him, if you don't know every word from your pen, if you don't stop now, every word from your pen will be your own tale. You are the ending that you seek. And then like Kilmer has this like really panicked look, and then like the music starts getting really loud, and just like this amazing kind of superimposed, almost like how almost like silent cinema would treat it, like the kind of like super musician, and like I don't know, it has that kind of feel to it.
I mean, whenever you see her face over like the floor on the boat just going right across her neck, it's so good.
No, it's my favorite shot in the movie, and it's like the kind of like you have like Val Kilmer looking down, and then Edgar Allan Poe looking down over him as he's seen down. And then the shots change, too. They change from the girl in the movie, Elle Fanning, to the daughter. Basically kind of almost relating it directly, Coppola's own story, of the son. Because then you get the actual boating, kind of these shots of the boating accident actually happening, Which, and then that's when he says that, maybe my favorite line of the movie, Edgar Allan Poe says, "We share this little ghost, my friend. Our work must be the grave that we prepare for its lovely tenant." And damn, it's just a great line, and makes the movie kind of feel very personal,
Definitely.
But yeah, I can't believe the movie ends
Yeah,
That's
I was,
crazy.
That
That's
it makes a lot
crazy.
more sense now because there was definitely parts of this where I was like, "What are y'all talking about?"
With the
That-
with this very ending.
yeah.
Because basically right after that is he wakes up, and he sees the sheriff has killed his assistant and has committed suicide and admitted to being the serial killer.
What the
He says
hell?
it's like basically written in blood, like guilty as charged, or something like that.
Sounds like
Uh,
guilty or something.
Guilty.
Yeah.
And then there's this great shot though of he goes and pulls the stake out of Elle Fanning that's sitting in the morgue, and she becomes this like
Vampire.
vampire. Yeah, she becomes a vampire basically and bites him, and that's when instead of dying becomes he wakes up, and that's like the end of the story. And the agent's happy.
And the agent's happy.
And it cuts to the agent going bulletproof
I guess that makes it more like
in the Mouth of Madness.
yeah, well, just something, yeah, well, kind of like in the Mouth of Madness, I guess, yeah. Well, this one, I guess, just more so brings it around to just, like, being a story. Kind of like Romancing in Thin Air, actually.
Yeah.
More like that.
Yeah. So I can see both endings, honestly.
Okay.
I
feel like the
Yeah.
Twixt might be better, though. I'm not gonna lie.
ending on
Yeah.
that would be crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
saying.
that actually makes it even more on the meta level too than what
Yeah.
you're saying, because it actually makes it directly to Coppola's life, like
Yes.
that building accident. It's like this is the. It's not even about the story anymore.
Yeah.
You know? This is
Yeah.
about
It
life.
is, yeah.
So
Damn, that's crazy.
This is why I do it.
Yeah,
This is basically
yeah.
how that would...
and ending on the you are the ending that you seek. You know. But yeah. I watched this movie because I love Youth Without Youth, and so I love the digital style of that movie, and that one I still think is overall looks better, but some of the high notes of this is maybe some of the best of Coppola to me, honestly.
Okay. Damn.
Because
High praise.
honestly, I skipped over, but we get this kind of shots of when he does wake up as there's that slow motion shot of her like whipping a chain, and like
Yeah.
as the pastor's like getting hit, but it's like cut. It's like a back and forth cut. It's like not direct, and she just looks so great. Like the way she's glowing in this like white
Yes.
chorus, it just looks so good. And it's like just a little bit of red blood on her teeth. I don't know, just like very very like interesting white. I don't know, it's super interesting. But yeah, that's Twixt, the Coppola banger.
Definitely.
I still haven't
Good.
seen Tetro. That's apparently like his
Tetro.
third of this kind of low budget digital cinema he made in the 2000s. But yeah, I'll definitely watch that at some point. So, but yeah, I'm glad we did. I got my horror month out of the way. What do we do next week, Luke?
We're doing I Walked with the Zombie, the Turner movie, and Legend of the Mountain, the King Who movie.
He's forcing me to watch it.
Finally, thank
Finally.
God. And
Again,
forcing y'all to
again.
watch I Walk with the Zombie again, because y'all are both
Wait,
like,
does that movie have a lot of fog in it?
I Walk with the Zombie? I'm
It's
pretty sure.
slow.
No, the
there's-
King Who movie
Probably.
There's smoke.
or Smoke. Yes. Because remember
Why?
I brought up that Johnny
Yeah.
Toko.
Oh, you talked about Legend of the Mountain?
He brought up
Let's
King
talk
Who
about King
because
Who.
he was like King Who must have used smoke.
No,
as
there's
fog
some
'cause he
crazy
he's a
smoke
painter.
scenes in
He's a painter.
there's some crazy uses of smoke in Legend of the Mountain.
Let's
That's all I'm
go.
gonna say. But yeah.
There's crazy uses of smoke in every King Who movie, honestly. Or most
Yeah,
of
I
them,
guess
think,
so.
actually.
But like Legend of the Mountain's the most memorable to me. I don't know why.
Ooh.
But you'll see.
Touches in.
We'll talk about it
Touches
next
in,
week.
though. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't really remember the
At the end?
smoke. The ending I remember is just like the monk like killing himself in the sun, or just like doing this shit in the sun.
No, I feel like there's a lot of smoke in the ending of Touches in.
Legend of the Mountain's a lot more memorable to me, but we'll talk about it next week, I guess.
Alright. Until next week, hope to see you floating through the clouds.
Shio